welcome to my niche gaming stream. Not doing this one for the views, but I am doing it because it's a quest of mine to complete these books and the entire series, actually, of Lone Wolf Adventures. Choose your own adventure books, all of which are on the shelf behind me. Well, at least the ones I have thus far. 4 of the latest new editions arrived with me the other day. But I already had the new edition of Shadow of the Sand. Here it is. This one I always remember as being a particular favorite of mine. Fortunately, I can't remember anything about it, which is great in terms of the surprise factor. Now, as you know, I always like to have a guest co-host with me on these streams where possible. And so I asked Gal Gadot if she was available. She said no, but she said she could recommend someone who was a close second. And I thought, well, I'm always up for having a close second of Gal Gadot. So we have none other than Melissa Stanton.
Yay!
Actress and impersonator extraordinaire. Perhaps, Melissa, you're technically also a member of the Outcast Creative. I've even got a have a little banner there for you. We've worked together many times, nearly worked together several more times, but life intervened.
Unfortunately, yes.
But great to have you back. You also popped up recently on the anniversary stream.
Yep.
Were with us for I think about half an hour on that. So thanks so much again for coming in on that. I believe we have a guest, a third guest, slightly out of camera. If you might want to introduce them.
So this is Esme.
This is Esme. Now, Esme has a habit of making all kinds of strange noises during the stream. Now, maybe one of those will actually happen during a monster sequence.
Oh, you never know.
That could be good timing. I mean, I'm not suggesting attach any electrodes to the dog or anything to facilitate that happening. But if it happens by pure coincidence, that's fine. Do you have any?
She does have 2 films under her belt, so you know she is quite the seasoned actress.
An actress dog, no less.
Absolutely.
That might be an interesting. We should do a stream about a separate stream about animal actors. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
That would be a good one to do. Actually, that would be a good one to do. I'll see if Clive is available from the Every Which Way But Loose movies.
Yes.
Joking aside, we did actually talk about him on a stream recently because I read an interview which one of my guests was I think it was to do with a film that my biographer guest had written about. It was a Burt Reynolds movie, and at one point they were trying to strike up a deal with the orangutan, and he actually came to the office with his agents and stuff. That's so bizarre. But only in Hollywood. Anyway, do you know anything about the Lone Wolf Adventure series?
Not those ones specifically. No, I did do a few read your own, pick your own adventure book when I was a kid, but not those ones.
Would they have been of the fighting fantasy range, perhaps?
Quite possibly, yes. I don't really remember. It was whatever they had at school, in the school library.
Oh, I see. They might have been. I mean, they were set in a fantasy world and that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
Quite possibly could have been the fighting fantasy books. They were sort of self-encapsulating adventures, whereas this is a part of a series. So each, I mean, they are. I guess you could think of each book as a quest, and some of them feel more like side quests than others. But if we nip onto the website for the series one, you see, I found them all in a box, and I remembered that I had them, and I never completed them. Now this is the website. The deets are all below already. If you guys want to check out stuff. I have just got Kingdom of Terror, Castle Death, Jungle of Horrors, and the Cauldron of Fear. I have the originals right up until the Dungeons of Torgar. So this is the original Dungeons of Torgar with the old sort of style artwork. I think Gary Chalk probably did the cover for that. But I never went past book 10. And I believe in the complete series of the entire saga. I think there's something between sort of 20 and 30 books. And the last 4 were never completed before the creator, Joe Deaver, passed away from cancer. I think back in, I think it was 2018. So Keithy is raring to go. Let's sharpen up the sword and go. just bringing Mel up to speed with the world. So, but one of the things I really like about this series is it's got a very distinct identity. There's a lot of things borrowed from Star Wars. I'm kind of playing a what's called the Lone Wolf, the last of the Kai, because the monastery where all my guys trained and where I was brought up, presumably as a monk of sorts, learning all these kind of martial arts. And think of the Kai as like fighting monks who also have sort of Jedi powers. They can do things like they've got mind blast and stuff. Oh, we lost Mel for a second there. She's back. Did the dog step on the remote control?
No.
So this is the map of the map of the entire world is absolutely ginormous. And gradually you get to see more and more of this as more books came out, and different books kind of revealed another bit of the Magnamund, which is this world. Good to see Rennie here, one of my friends from the States who I've actually met. So she's also a moderator on my channel. Great to have you in, Rennie. So for example, the Jungle of Horrors, which is book 8, is set in the Danag, which is this big green swamp here. So just a bit of perspective. So I come from the Kingdom of Summerland, which is also aligned with the Kingdom of Duranor. So the two kings here are kind of in an alliance. And in the first book, I was sent out to get a magical sword called the Summer Sword. It's kind of summer sword, really. It's kind of like a cool lightsaber sword because it glows and zaps beams. It's really good at killing undead, basically. So very powerful, gives you +10 in combat against most enemies. And so the first book was all about retrieving the sword. The second book was it was about escaping the attack on the monastery. Actually, sorry, the first book is about escaping the attack on the monastery and warning the king that the Dark Lord has returned. So there's always a Dark Lord in these things, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then the second book was about traveling to Duranor, getting the Summer Sword, which apparently was being kept by the king over there, and returning it in time to lift the siege of Holmgard, which I did. So that was book 2. Then in book 3, I got sent to the caverns of Colte to hunt down and bring to trial the magician who betrayed my order. So that was in this kind of waste up here. Successfully did that. Then book 4, which was the Chasm of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Chasm of Doom, it was set down here, the Macon Gorge, the ruins of Macon. I basically had to stop an undead army from being raised out of this gorge by another evil wizard. I dispensed with him. So far in those 4 books, I've had to do a restart one time, which was in book 2. I kind of got stuck in a loop, and I kept losing all my money. And then if you lost all your money, all that was going to happen was that you were going to die. So, yeah, thanks for that, David. Appreciate the post on the Lone Wolf fan page. I'm also a member of that group, and I think if it's the same one, I do post there every time I do a stream. And I've had August Hahn, who is the guy. He's not the creator of the Lone Wolf series, but he's a good friend of the Deaver family, and he's kind of the guy. He's like a producer, if you like. He's the guy in charge of doing the updated versions of the books and so on. So that brings you up to speed, Mel. So our mission today is during my quest to sort out the Macon Gorge and all this kind of thing, the town of Ruanan, which you can see here, was sieged by this army, and although they appear to be predominantly a bandit army, they were made up by a lot of warriors from this country called Vasagonia. We're now going to switch to our secondary map. So it's a bit like the scene in Battle Beyond the Stars where John Saxon goes, "Give me the second field." Anybody who knows obscure low-budget science fiction will know exactly what I'm talking about, of course. Okay,
yeah.
absolutely. So this is the map that comes with this book. So this is actually the sleeve of the book. So what's going to happen is this kingdom is kind of ruled by a I forget the exact title of the guy. He's ruled by Marj Hahn, Majhan. So kind of like a grand emperor of sorts with a desert Middle Eastern feel. He's kind of really annoyed that one of his lowly lords seemed to send his troops to siege this town. So he really wants peace between our two nations. So I've been sent as an envoy, and I've been specifically asked for, which makes me sound very suspicious, to go, and I'm going in a boat to this town, this city called Barrakesh, which is the biggest city in Magnamund. It's got inhabitants of 200,000, to sign this treaty. Okay, and that's where our adventure is starting. Now, I've equipped myself, but I'm gonna do a couple of things. First of all, I've already got 40 crowns of the nation. That's the money for the world. You can only carry a maximum of 50 in your big chunky gold purse. I'm not going to take all of them with me because that's quite a lot. And I get to roll 1d10 and I get given an extra for my mission. So this is our die rolling app, Mel. So we can see there's no cheating. So I've just rolled a 4. So I've got 44 crowns, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave 14 behind in my monastery safe. And I'm going to take 30 with me. I think 30 is more than enough, but I've got 14 that I'm keeping behind for my next adventure. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do, believe it or not, is I'm not going to take my most powerful weapon with me, the summer sword. It gives you a considerable advantage in combat, but I feel like if I'm going on a peace envoy mission to sign a peace treaty, I don't want to bring the world's most powerful weapon with me, and also it could be a trap. So if it's a trap, I don't want to lose that weapon. So even though it gives me a considerable advantage in combat, like considerable, I'm just going to take a standard broadsword with me, and I'm going to leave my summer sword behind. So that's a bit of a risk, but that's what I'm choosing to do. Okay. As a Kai, you have various skills. You start off with 5 and you get to add another skill as each time you complete a mission. So just to tell you, you're going to love my last skill. The skills I have are healing, hunting, mind over matter, which means I can move objects, mind shield, which means I can protect myself from mind blast, which is like a psychic attack, tracking, sixth sense. I've got +2 with a broadsword, camouflage, and the new skill that I've acquired is animal kinship. This means that I can detect growling dogs off camera using my skill of animal kinship. So I detect right now that there is a growling dog or a dreaming dog near
a dreaming
Mel.
dog, yes.
Is that the sound of it dreaming? Now,
that's snoring, yes.
Hold the phone here a second. So, by the way, my channel, guys, has just become monetized. It became monetized yesterday. And
brilliant.
Matt G has actually given me my first donation of $1. Matt G, you are the first. Look at that. Rennie says Matt G in the house. Now, look, that might just be $1, right? But from time to time, I've paid for super chats on people's channels. I've done anything from £1 to £10, and the 10 is the most I've paid. And for me to pay for a £10 super chat is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, especially in hard times with, gas and electric bills coming in at £1,000 a pop and all of this kind of thing. So what I'm trying to say, Matt, is that might only be $1, but to you, it could be a lot of money. So I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you very much. So it doesn't matter what the sum of money is. The fact that you make a donation is lovely. I'm not sure how much of that I get. I think YouTube get a big chunk of that. But hey, so that fund to buy my house is on its way because I want to buy a house. That's my
all
goal.
journeys start with one step.
That's right. Even the smallest person can make a change in the course of history, to quote, I think, Lord of the Rings. So, okay. So those are my skills, Mel. I'm also allowed to carry up to 12 special items and 8 items in my backpack. In my backpack, I've got 4 meals, 2 healing potions. They're called Lampspur, and some rope. So I've got room for 1 more. My special items include a crystal star pendant, a silver token, a coach ticket, which I'm sure I won't need, some poison sap, a red pass, which I probably won't need, padded waistcoat, which gives me +2 endurance, which is good, fire spheres, which means I can make a fire, bluestone triangle, the diamond of Coltate, a scroll, and a shield, which gives me +2 in combat. So I have room for 1 more special item, and then I can drop those. David says 70%, so 70 cents. So I've seen a house that I want for £750,000. So do the maths on that, Mel. There's a fair way to go yet.
Yeah.
But it would be great, wouldn't it? So I aim to work very hard on this channel, but also to have some fun at the same time. Okay, so that's all the blurb. So shall we begin then?
Yes.
Sorry, bit of a long-winded intro, but hopefully it sets everything up for you. All right, guys. So we are currently approaching the city of Barrakesh. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's very well known for its baths and a massive underwater sewage system. Now, one of the reasons I know this, and Mel, you'll like this because I know you like this kind of nerdy detail. Not that I'm trying to say that Mel's a nerd or anything. Fellow nerd. So in the back of each book, so in addition to on the inside of the sleeve, you see you get the map there.
Yeah.
That's relevant to that book. In the back of the book, there is a special section of sort of what they call the Magnamund archives. So there's a load of blurb about the Kingdom of Vasagonia. So you can read all about its customs, its people, how the ruling classes work, and all that sort of thing. But there's also a big section on the detail of the city of Barrakesh, which tells you, what it's well known for, stuff like that. And there's usually little hints in these things. And there's also detail on the different types of warriors that fight for Vasagonia. The Shah Nazim, who are the king's personal bodyguard. You've got the Drakarim and then the Hakon. So there's these different sort of classes of guys that I probably really don't want to upset. There's also this character who's called Tipsa the Wanderer, this guy, and he's got this book with a shitload of notes in it. Now, I have a feeling this is mentioned in the back of the book for a reason. So, yeah, and then also you get like a mini monster manual. So the new monsters that are in this book, there's like information about them in the back. That crypt spawn looks a bit ugly, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. So we may or may not be encountering some of those. There's also sky ships. They're very rare. Mel, I'm one step closer to that house. There's another 99 cents from Positive Fandom. That's a great channel, by the way, guys. Check it out. And Arum, who runs that channel, has been a guest on my channel. In fact, she's done a Lone Wolf stream with me. In fact, she was the first guest to do a Lone Wolf stream. So, Mel, you're following in her well-worn footsteps. And she said, congratulations. Thank you so much. It feels quite surreal that I'm actually monetized now and have made $1.98. Actually, well, $1.99. Okay, so now I have to confess, there's a big opening on this. I'm going to cut through the chaff. and this is what happens. Save my voice a little bit. We set sail. We're on our way to that city that I just showed you. As the city looms into view, which I will describe, there's a rather ominous sign. Now, don't forget, a lot of people don't want this peace treaty to happen. So here we put the main map up again. So we're oh, hang on, we don't want to do that. What am I doing now? Don't do that, Lance. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. No. Okay. Can I not move this about? Thought I could. Okay, maybe not. Let's not do that. All right. So this is where we are in the top right-hand corner here. Now, and there's an envoy with us. There's an envoy with us from the Kingdom of Macedonia. Okay. Crew cheer when they see the city on the horizon. You stare with fascination at the golden domes, the minarets, the green tiled roofs shimmering beneath the hot desert sun. You marvel at the splendor of the grand palace which dominates this magnificent city. Then you notice something odd. And the something odd that we notice is that all the towers are dripping with black flags. So guess what's happened? They have died. The Marjan, or whatever the name was of the leader. I've just had another donation from David Macy. £2, proper English money. Thank you very much, David. That's very kind. Desert Phoenix always comes on these streams. Thank you so much. And yes, the channel is monetized. So, guys, when we get to making some crucial decisions, be ready on the keyboards in case you want to take part. So here's what happens, Mel, as our ship comes into harbour. Horse-drawn carriage enters the harbour square, escorted by the cavalry of the palace guard. It slows to a halt near the gangplank of the ship, and a man in a turquoise robe steps out to meet you. 1,000 greetings, Lone Wolf. I am Muyuk. I welcome you to the city on behalf of my master, His Most Sublime Magnificence, Zakhan Kamar. The envoy gasps with a shocked surprise upon hearing the name of the new Zakhan. He turns to speak, his eyes wild with fear. It's a trap! Hang on, let me do that in Admiral Akbar's voice. It's a trap! You must! His warning is cut short by the blade of Mook's dagger. Suddenly, scores of black-clad warriors emerge from the shadows of the harbour building. They are the Shazim, the elite Macedonian bodyguard. So that's like the ones I showed you before.
Yeah.
Quickly, they close in, swords drawn, surrounding you on every side. You must act quickly if you are to survive this deadly trap. Okay, so here are the options, Mel. There are 3 options. 1, do you want to stand and fight against this overwhelming force? Bearing in mind, I've left my best weapon at home. So maybe not, I would think.
Yeah.
If you choose to surrender to Mawuk and his warriors, turn to page blah, blah, blah. If you decide to run back to the galley, so basically retreat, surrender, fight. Those are the options.
Well, you were sent on a mission to negotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say surrender.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like even if I make a run back to the ship, the chances of escape are pretty.
Yeah.
It does seem like that the chances are pretty slim. And just thanking David Macy again for that super chat, the highest, the most expensive one so far. Thank you for monetizing my channel or contributing towards it. So you're thinking stay and surrender. I'm glad I didn't bring all my money. Now I'm glad I didn't. Okay, well. Surrender to the warriors, turn to 176. Okay, this better not be your journey ends here, in which case, Mel, this will be the shortest stream I've ever done. Okay, 176. Let's have a look. You are stripped of your equipment. Well, I'm glad I didn't bring my most powerful sword again. Your hands are tied behind your back, and roughly you are pushed headfirst into the waiting carriage. Now, when you're stripped of your equipment, I think you lose your backpack and you lose your weapons, but you don't lose your special items unless it specifically says that. That's come up in a few books. If anybody else that disagrees with that or has a rule that contradicts that, please say that. Bit of advice from Keith. Watch out, bro. Google Lance left a huge bag of gold laying on the floor. Make sure he doesn't fall over it. Listen, mate, if I left a huge bag of gold on the floor somewhere, trust me, I'd know about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the palace, commands Mook as he climbs aboard and slams the door. The Zakhan awaits his prize. You fight to free the cords that bind your wrists, but Mook is quick to see the danger. He grabs your arm and forces a dart into your skin. Sleep engulfs your senses. Okay, I'm not sure this choice is working out too well for me, Mel.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'll just blame you if that's the case. All right, 69. Right, we have a huge section of waffle here. You wake up in great discomfort. Erase all weapons. Oh, shit. Erase all weapons, special items, gold crown, and your backpack. So I've lost everything.
Oh, no.
But keep a note of them in case you find them elsewhere later. Okay, so there is a chance of getting them back. But right now, then, so I'm just going to put, right now, I've got nothing. Nothing. Okay, on my little character sheet here. All right. Thanks, Mel. Good choices so far. Glad to have you on the stream. It's working out well.
At least you're not dead.
I'm so glad I've lost all those special items that I waded through 4 books to obtain. But I'm not dead yet. If you had the Dagger of Varshna, do not forget to restore the 3 endurance points you lose when carrying this accursed special item. Now, I had that dagger, but I left it behind because of the way that it both is a good thing and a bad thing. It's kind of an evil weapon. So I just decided to keep it in the monastery, as it were. Mm-hmm. Every muscle of your body feels knotted and bruised. You force open eyelids clogged with dried sweat and look with dread at your wretched surroundings. This sounds like you waking up next to the dog. You are lying on the hard stone floor of a prison cell. Over by the far wall, beneath a window, crisscrossed with iron bars, is a low wooden bunk covered with filthy rags. Cockroaches, some the size of field mice, scutter along a foul-smelling gutter that disappears into a grating in the floor. You discover that your hands are free and you slowly pull yourself upright into a sitting position, resting with your back against the cell door. A faint draft from the corridor outside provides the only relief from the stifling heat and bad air of the cell. In the distance, you can hear footsteps approaching. Feel free to chip in with any sound effects, Mel, during my reading. Then there is a jangle of keys. So again, feel free to chip in with any sound effects.
Jingle, jingle.
Yeah, very good, Mel. I feel you could have done better, but let's continue. There's a jangle of keys and a creak of hinges. A door closes with a dull thud. Lots of opportunity for you to be involved here, Mel. It's going really well. And more footsteps. They're getting louder. There we go. They come to a halt outside the cell door, and a loud voice bellows out, "Sleeping on duty, Sheffro. You'll wake up on the other side of this door if the captain ever catches you." The chair scrapes along the ground, and a startled voice, full of indignation, replies, "Curse you, Hadel." Wait, he needs to speak in a different voice. I can't do the same one again.
Yeah.
Curse you, Hadel. The Zakhan doesn't want the Northlander taken to the Grand Hill until sunset. You cheated me out of 2 hours of sleep. "Shut up, Sheffru," snarls the first voice, "and listen hard. I've just come from the armory. Some interesting trinkets were found on this Northlander, worth a great deal of gold, I'd say. Seems a pity to let them go to waste, eh?" The 2 guards chuckle greedily and discuss at length the good time they will be able to have in the city once they've sold your belongings and divided the money between them. How kind of them. "I'll take a peek at our friend. I wonder if he's enjoying our hospitality." Spy hole slides open, and you hear a gasp of shock. He's gone, he's gone. By the Majan, we'll lose our heads. You suddenly realise that you cannot be seen so close to the door. Let me see, hisses the other guard, eager to check for himself. Then you hear the click of the key in the lock. This could be your chance to escape. Okay, Mel, we've got 2 choices coming up. All right, so I'm going to take off the map for a second. As I think we know, we're in the city, so the map's not particularly helpful right now. Here we go, Mel. If you wish to attack the guards as soon as the door opens, turn to 138. If you decide to move away from the door and stand in the middle of the cell, turn to 85. So we're either going to attack them or just show them that we're still there.
I'd take your chances and attack them.
I think it's an attack situation.
Yeah.
Curious to see what chat thinks about this. Oh, Darth Plato's here. Thank you so much for popping in, sir. Good to see you on. And, well, I think attack. Yeah. All right. So Mel and I are agreed. And obviously, if it goes wrong, it's Mel's fault. All right. So attack. Go to 138. All right. Here we go. 138. The guards pull open the door and you spring into action. Your clenched fist strikes the first man beneath his bearded jaw, lifting him from the floor with the sheer power of your blow. Well, I didn't know I was quite so strong, Mel. His sword drops from his hand and clatters close to the ground by your feet. If you wish to pick up the sword, turn to page 4. If you choose to ignore the sword and attack the second guard with your bare hands, turn to 91. Sword or bare hands?
Sword.
I think sword. Also, I've got a +2 combat ability with the sword. So that will give me a bonus. If we're now into a combat situation, which I'll explain, that will give me a little bonus. 4. We are in a combat situation. This is how it works. So the palace jailer has a combat skill and an endurance rating.
Yeah.
His combat skill is 14. His endurance rating is 21. Now, my endurance... Oh, dear. He doesn't like the palace jailer, clearly. My endurance is currently... And I've lost all my possessions, so it is -2 because I had a padded leather waistcoat, which gave me +2. So my endurance currently is 22. My combat skill is 18, which is 4 above him. However, with a sword,
it's +2.
I get +2. So I'm at combat skill of 20. So the difference between the two of us is 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then what you do is I'll just keep that there. You turn to this combat results table in the back of the book. This is quite good. It's much better than the fighting fantasy one. Mm-hmm. And you look at the top here and you see how high or lower you are against the enemy. So with me having a +6 advantage, wasn't it? I'm in quite a good chart, and then you roll on a dice for each round of combat that you do. So we're now in a rolling dice situation. So we're going to share screen with our dice app again, which is located. Is that on the same thing as the map? It is. Let me just do that. There we go. Thank you. Lovely. All right. So let me just see if there's any caveats with the combat, because sometimes there's a caveat or two. Ignore all endurance points lost by the enemy in the first round of combat. For the best you can do in the first round is attempt to parry his blow. If you win the fight in 4 rounds or less, if it lasts longer than 4 rounds, then you've got to turn to another page. So that's always a bad sign. We basically want to win this in 4 rounds or less. Now, for the first round, I don't do any damage to him. So here we go. I roll a 9. That's annoying because that would have meant lots of damage for him. There's no damage to me. Oh, it's now gone to a 3, but it was a 9 just then. I think it was slightly cocked. It's funny, isn't it? You
Yeah.
can even get cocked on the computer app. Okay, so we're now doing the second round of combat. So no damage to anybody. Second round of combat, it is a 3. Okay, so that's not so good. So a 3 means hit on a +6 ratio. He takes 8 points of damage. I take 3. So my endurance now goes from it's currently at 22. It's now gone to 19. And his endurance, which was at
21.
is down by how much did I say?
6.
So he's gone down to 15, correct?
Yeah.
Because we rolled was it a 3?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, he loses 8, so he's gone down another 2, so he's down to 13. Okay, so now that was the second round of combat. So now's the third. We really want to roll a high one. Fuck's sake, that's a 2. So that's 3 damage to me. So I'm now down to 16. God. He takes 7. So he's now down to 6, which is good. And it's now the 4th round of combat. Was that right?
No, that's the third.
Was that the third we just? That was the third we just did.
Oh right. Okay.
This is the 4th. So we need to kill him in this round. Otherwise, the combat goes on longer than is required. So we need to kill him. We need to roll high in this round. Here we go. 9. That'll do it. That'll do it. He is dead. He takes 16 points of damage. We take nothing. I'm going to say that that's a beheading. So, chat, if you picture his head swirling in slow motion in a sort of in a Conan type style, we have just decapitated that guard. Darth Plato says his endurance is 21. Hound of the Baskervilles. Not quite sure what that's relevant to, but that may be a comment about your dog, Mel, I think. Okay. So we did win in less than 4 rounds. So we turned to 165. 165. I'll tell you what, we need to find all our shit wherever it is in this castle. 165. The guard clutches his wounds and drops lifelessly to the floor. You see that the other man is recovering from your blow. He's clawing at the cell door in an effort to pull himself to his feet. If you choose to attack this guard, turn to 78. If you decide to overpower him and capture him alive, turn to 199. I'm thinking alive.
I'm thinking alive, yeah.
Because he might have useful information, then we can always kill him afterwards.
Yeah, he knows where all the stuff is.
That's what I was thinking. Let's capture him alive. Good shout. 199. You gasp the frightened guard in a secure headlock and threaten to break his neck if he does not answer your questions. Answer my questions or I shall break your neck. That's the lone wolf voice that Alex did when he was on here previously. Immediately he promises to tell you everything he knows. He says, the Zakan fears you, that you're an assassin sent by his enemies in the West. He claims to hate the new Zakan. Oh, I hate the new Zakan. I'm only a simple jailer. I don't know anything else. Now, if you have the Kai discipline of 6 sense, which I do, turn to page 39, because I've got all of the Kai disciplines except for one at the current level that I'm at. The only one that I don't possess is Mind Blast. The ability to project lots of snot from my nostrils in a sort of psychic attack. The man is lying. He knows the other guards are likely to show up any moment. As soon as you loosen your grip, he intends to try and overpower you and then raise the alarm. If you decide to continue questioning him, turn to page 9. If you decide to kill him. Okay, so continue questioning him or kill him. He knows that the guards are likely to show up at any moment, so it's a risk if we continue questioning him. But we do want to know where the shit is.
Yeah.
So okay, let's risk it. I want to know where I want to know where the stuff is.
Yeah, risk it for a biscuit.
Guard begins to cough. He pleads with you to slacken your grip, or he will choke to death. You reduce the pressure on his throat just a little more to ask him one question. Does he know where your confiscated equipment is? He shakes his head and gasps he does not know. Suddenly, he twists violently and elbows you in the chest. Moments later, he is broken free of your grip. You are winded by this blow, but you're determined to stop him from getting away. Turn to 78, so I'm going to attack him anyway. Okay. All right. Well, obviously these guards can't be trusted. So, so noted. Your attack is both swift and deadly. Before the guard can scream for help, you have silenced him for good with a powerful open-handed chop to the side of the neck. Oh, that's kind of like a Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy, yeah, I was thinking that.
Miss Piggy attack. Do you want to simulate that for me?
Hey!
Perfect. Fantastic. This is why I like having people like Mel on. Okay. If you choose to leave the bodies and escape along the corridor, leave the bodies or search them. I think search them.
Yeah.
I think so, because at the minute all we have is a sword. That's it. I feel like I've got a sword and like a kind of like a loin sort of pouch that I'm wearing. That's my visuals on this because they said they took everything. So a sword and a fig leaf belt of some sort. Here we go. We've now got some stuff. A thorough search of both bodies uncovers the following items. 1 sword, if you haven't already collected it, a dagger, a warhammer, 6 gold crowns, a belt pouch, and jailer's keys. Well, I can only carry 2 weapons at a time. So dagger or warhammer?
Well, I don't know. You've got a sword, so warhammer?
Yeah, why not? So I'm going to list my temp items. I still haven't found all my shit yet. Temp item. I'm so glad I didn't take all my money. So 6 gold crowns. 6 gold crowns. Jailer's keys.
Yeah.
Jailer's keys. A pouch, which is obviously for the money, and the keys. And I'm taking a warhammer, and I've got a sword. And that's it. I don't have any meals. Finding meals is useful. I can hunt, but only if I'm out in the wilderness. If we're in corridors and things and I need to eat a meal and I can't eat a meal, I lose endurance. So right now, for every round that I'm not in combat, so this would be the first, I have the Jedi Force of Healing. I mean, I have the Kai skill of healing. Mm-hmm. So for every section, I regain 1 of my endurance that I've lost. Okay. So my endurance currently is 16. It can go up to 22, 24 with the waistcoat. So it's going to go back to 17 because of that section.
Yeah.
And you'll need to remind me to put it up each one. Okay. So I now continue along the corridor. I go to page 150. So on this section, it will go up another one, for example, unless I'm in combat again. So I've gone to another section. So it's now gone up to 18. It's amazing, these wonderful healing herbs that I managed to secrete in my lug hole. The corridor heads away to the north, but it soon comes to a junction where a passage runs across it from east to west. You curiously peer around the corner. To your relief, there's no guards. At the end of the east passage, you see a flight of steps descending out of view. To the west, you see a closed door. Steps or door? My inclination is door, because door may contain room full of shit. That's
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so door. We're both agreed on door. I'm sure chat will agree on door. Here we go. The heavy wooden door is reinforced by bands of black iron. It's locked. Do you have the jailer's keys? Yes, we do.
We do.
Turn to 136. So let's see what's happening with the keys. Once you've unlocked the door, you twist the handle. You can see a stair descending to a small chamber where a black-robed soldier is guarding a pair of iron gates. Through the bars of the gates, you can see rows and rows of armor and weapons, A sign fixed to the bar says Guard Palace Armory. Do you possess the Kai discipline of camouflage? I do. So 186. Let's see what the options are. 186. Using your Kai skill to disguise your accent, you call out to the guard, "Quick, we need your help. The Northlander is escaping." Immediately, the guard leaps to his feet, charges up the stairs towards the door. You wait until he reaches the top step before you attack. One kick to the knee sends him tumbling backwards. This is all very filmic, isn't it?
Yes.
And karate chop.
Hi-ya!
That's it. He's knocked out. You enter the chamber, poised to strike again should the guard recover. However, Mel's chop was too deadly. The guard is dead. His neck has been broken in the fall. Actually, does say that. The bit about the neck. If you choose to search the body, well, I think always search bodies, and then you can ignore the body and enter the armory. I'm going to say search the body first because that proved quite useful earlier. 52. Okay, here we go. 52. You search the body and you recover the following items. Jailer's keys again. 4 gold crowns. So we're now up to 10 gold crowns. We've got 2 sets of Jailer's keys, but I'll only keep one. I don't think we need both. A potion of Lampspur. So that restores 4 points of stuff when you eat it or drink it, rather. I won't take that now. I'm now in another section with no combat. The last one, even though I didn't have to roll for combat, technically that's a combat because I knocked the guy out. So so my endurance goes up to 19. It's nearly 3 points away from where it is without any armor. Okay. Okay, good. If you wish to keep, and then turn to 140. Okay, so there was no penalty for I don't think I've ever come across a penalty for searching somebody, like suddenly then 50 guards appear because because you decided to do a search. So Sir Tyron Lethbridge. Now that's a name of a knight if ever there was one. Good to see you. What's on the show today? So we are playing Lone Wolf Shadow in the Sand. It is a choose your own adventure book. You may want to look at the stream from the beginning, Tyron, so you can follow what's happening. If you're looking for an industry interview, the next one of those is next Tuesday with Debbie Evans, stunt woman, 400 credits on IMDb, almost as many credits as Mel. Okay, so heads will roll. I heard that at work once. Yes, me too, mate. All right, okay, so the iron gates of the armory are unlocked. You push open the left gate and wince as the shrill squeak of a dry hinge sends a shiver down. See, Mel does all the sound effects for Doctor Who, just so you know. It is littered with spearheads, sword hilts, and all kinds of armorer's tools. In the midst of this tangled mess, you find a large leather-bound book. If you decide to pick up the book, I think we probably will. Yeah. Pick up the book, 83, because you can search without picking up the book. But big leather-bound books in a fantasy setting, I always think, if in doubt, grab the book. Now there's even a drawing. There's a drawing of a book.
Oh,
not quite sure what that squiggle is, but it is an armory log. The page contains handwritten lists of all the work carried out here. Spears and swords made for the garrison, shipments for the Vacna Mountains, weapons scheduled for repair. You're about to discard the log when you notice a folded piece of parchment in the spine. It is a list of dates and numbers with the heading inscribed in bold print, The Bronze Door. You scan the page and locate today's date. The number listed in it is 67. So that's going to be something to do with a bronze door at some point. It's going to be like a code to a lock. I think. Yeah. Bronze door, 67. Make a note of that, it says. So I am. Throwing the book back. Oh, fuck that now.
Yeah.
Throwing the book back on the workbench. You search for your missing weapons and equipment. Turn to 181. Okay. It would be good to find them. You root through the drawers and cupboards, smashing locks when they refuse to open. Nothing contains your equipment. All hope of signing a peace treaty with the News of Khan has long since vanished. Your only concerns now are to find your equipment, escape from the Grand Palace, and somehow return to Summerland as quickly as possible. You pull aside a latticed partition and enter a small antechamber. Narrow stone steps lead to an open door in the north wall, next to which there stands a wooden chest. Do you want to climb the steps and enter the door, or investigate the chest? I think investigate the chest. It might contain all our stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so for those people that have just joined, all of our equipment has been nicked, and we are trying to find it right now in Shadow in the Sand. Okay, so wooden chest, go to 97. All right. It's better not turn to be a mimic, like one of those things in D&D where it's a chest with a big tongue that comes out and eats you.
Or the luggage in the Discworld.
The luggage in the Discworld. So you're a Terry Pratchett fan?
I am, yes.
Siren Lethbridge is saying, "Oh no, maybe he doesn't trust the option of the chest." So let's have a look. The chest is seemingly plain, except for a small square of red metal bolted to the top. There is no lock. Instinctively, you avoid opening the lid with your hands in case it's booby-trapped. Nearby, you notice a wooden bucket and a ladle. Using the ladle, you lever open the chest and push back the lid. The chest itself is not booby-trapped, but your caution was well placed. Coiled upon a bed of jewel-encrusted mace sits a yas, a non-poisonous but very large Vasagonian snake. Red forked tongue flicks out of its yellow head as it prepares to defend its valuable mattress. If you choose to attack the yas, turn to 194, or you can shut the lid and leave the armory. Well, I think kill the snake.
Yeah.
I know you're an animal lover, but, you know, it is a snake with a big yellow head. It looks pretty evil.
Yeah.
Whoa! Hey, look at that. Just done another super chat.
Hey.
On the monetization, Lance. Well deserved, mate, from the uninspired reviewer. Now, that's another one of the people that helped me actually get over my required watch hours. So this is one of the guys who really pushed to get my channel monetized. So just to say, sir, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And Tyron Lethbridge has not sent me a super chat, but he has sent me my own snake and a skull and crossbones. So I'll put those up in my house when I can afford to buy one. Okay, so yeah, I want to attack the snake. Are you all right with that?
Yeah.
I know animal rights are going to be onto us, but
yeah.
All right, 194. We'll attack the snake then. Here we go. The yas is a constrictor. It kills its victims by crushing them to death with the coils of its powerful body. It has killed many a pug in its day, and it has pug emblems marked on the side of its skin to indicate how many pugs it has crushed. We made the right decision, Mel. That definitely was in the book. Its eyes have now opened fully, and red-rimmed slit pupils fix upon you. You suddenly realize that the yas is trying to hypnotize you. Unless you have the Kai discipline of Mind Shield, which I do. You see, I would have lost 3 points on my combat skill. Okay, right. So we're in combat. It's got a combat skill of 6. Our 14. Our current combat is 20 with the sword. So we've got a difference of 6, but its endurance is 28. My endurance, we forgot to put it up by 2. One in the corridor, and then we went to investigate the chest. So my endurance now is actually 21. So it's not quite back to the max. But we've got the edge, but we definitely need to kill it, and we need to kill it quickly. So okay, we are on the die roll again. Here we go. All right, so it's a plus 6. Let me just put this over here. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's roll high, Mel. Let's roll high. 9. I'm liking that start. Could you keep a tally of its endurance points for me?
28, wasn't it?
Yeah. So if I give you the number to deduct off of that, so it has lost, and I'll do mine. I don't think I've lost any. It has. I haven't lost any. It's lost 16 on the first blow. So is that's 12 left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Remember 12. Second round of combat. 8. I think it's dead. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's taken 14 points of damage, and I've taken nothing. So basically, a couple of quick maneuvers, lopped its head off.
Yep.
If you win the combat, turn to 35. I should say we do. Thank you very much. There better be something really good in this chest. There's something like there was a jewel-studded mace or something.
Yes.
Okay. The great snake shudders and convulses in the throes of death. The smell of its thick brown blood is disgusting. Suddenly a pug emerges from its stomach, alive and most grateful to see you. It scampers off out the room, gives you a smile, goes out the door. You have to hold your breath and grit your teeth as you lift the twitching carcass away from the chest and peer inside. Okay. You discover six silver-handled maces, each beautifully carved, encrusted with rubies, emeralds, and pearls. Sounds like it's worth quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the chest, you also discover a small copper key. If you wish to take either a jeweled mace, I guess I can only take one, or the key, mark them in your charts. The mace is a special weapon. It is enchanted. If you use it in combat, you may add 1 to your combat skill, but I get 2 with a sword, so it's not really any point in me.
Yeah, and I'm thinking copper door, copper key.
Yeah, all right. Well, so we've got a. We'll take the mace though. We'll keep it as a possession, because I think I'll get rid of the warhammer because you can only carry 2. Might as well have 2 magical weapons.
Can you take the mace and the key, or did it say mace or key?
No. You can take the key.
All right.
So copper key, because you can that's a special item. You can carry up to 12 special items. At the minute, I've got a jailer's key and a copper key. And now I have also a sword and a magical jewel encrusted mace, which is going to be worth a few bob when we get home. Let's face it.
Yeah.
So, mace +1. Okay, +1. Jewels, etc. Jewel encrusted pug's head on the top of the mace. That will teach that snake to eat the pooch. The acidic stench of the snake's blood is causing you to retch. Desperate for clean air, you quickly exit the armory by the north door. Turn to 14. Okay. That seemed like a lot of effort, but hopefully these things will be useful later. You step into a perfect hemisphere. The walls of the chamber curve smoothly towards the ceiling, where a small window casts a splash of light on the floor. Very filmic again. Just minimize this window a little bit. Okay. I was reading the wrong one for a minute there. There's a large circular dais in the center of the room. It's laden with incense burners, decanters, quills, scrolls, cloaks, urns, and all kinds of fruit and sweet meats, enough for one meal. Well, I'll take that. And I've now moved another place with no combat, so I've healed again.
Yeah.
So I'm now up to 22, so I'm at my max. So I've now picked up a meal. Okay, that's good. I'll keep that one meal because I'm going to need to eat soon, and if I don't, I lose 3 endurance points. So I've had another super chat. I'm going to try and I don't know that I'll be able to do this all the time, but I'm going to try and keep on these as they're coming in. And people normally do them at the end of their streams, but as it's the first time I'm monetized, I'm going to try and do them all. Don't tell Rennie I'm being frivolous. Congrats. I actually spoke to Rennie on the phone today, mate, and so I'll be sure to let her know you are not being frivolous. And then he's added, got ripped off. They're Aussie dollars. I need to update my setting. Don't worry, mate. If you send me a 20 now, that will be fine. We'll just add another 0 there, and it'll all balance out. And I'll do more silly voices if you give me a 20. Okay, Mel, we've got some options here. Right. Oh, here we go. Your eye is caught by a large open drawer which protrudes from beneath the lip of the diocese, and at once you recognize its contents. You found all your confiscated equipment.
Hooray!
All of your backpack items, special items, weapons, and gold crowns that you lost when you were imprisoned. Right, okay. So I've actually now regained all of my stuff. Plus I have 10 extra gold crowns. Just going to do a bit of housekeeping here. So I now have 40 gold crowns total. Let's delete that. I'll dump the sword and keep the broadsword. I'll keep the jailer's key, the copper's key. I will add the meal to my existing meal, but I've got to eat a meal now. That's just coming up in this chapter. So that balances that out. And I now have 3 potions of Lampspur, which means my backpack is full. You can only carry 8 items in the backpack. Good. Okay, good. Well, that was worth doing. So you now have to eat a meal. Done that. Elated by the rediscovery of your belongings. Hooray! Huzzah! You resolve to escape from the Grand Palace as quickly as you can. Okay, so our mission now is to escape from the palace.
Yeah.
Aside from the door by which you entered the chamber, there's another one set into the north wall. If you decide to leave the chamber by this door, turn to 58. But if you decide to stop and search the chamber for useful items, turn to 131. Now, we have just got all of our shit back. Do we stop and look for more? Is that being greedy? My spidey sense is tingling.
Yeah, I'd say let's make like sheep and get the flock out of here.
Okay, I'm going to agree. But I'm curious, so I'm going to have a peek at what happens. I'm going to have a peek at what happened. Okay, so we are going to leave. So if it says, "Hey, great, you found loads of shit," we're not going to take it. Okay, so leaving immediately, you go to 58. I've got that marked. Searching is 131. I am just curious because I'm thinking. Okay, this is you sift through the vast number of items that litter the diocese, and you pick out the following items that may be of use. Okay, I feel like we fucked up here. Dagger, silver comb, hourglass, looking glass, prism, potion of Lampspur, so another healing potion, enough food for 3 meals. My backpack's already full. So maybe the prism and the looking glass might have been useful. But it gives you a different no, it doesn't give you. Okay, all right. So 58. You follow a straight passage. Oh, it says I've got to eat another meal. Okay, God, I must be hungry, but then I haven't eaten for a long time. So down to 3 meals. Okay. You follow a straight passage of pale rose-colored stone, ends in an empty vestibule. I do like that word, vestibule. Into the north wall is a great wooden door. Its surface is covered with engraved bronzed plaques. Bronzed plaques. 67, remember?
Yeah.
There is a curious lock set in the middle of the door. What a surprise. It's encircled by a beautiful carving of a long-tailed scorpion. A closer look reveals at the lock a series of Vasagonian numerals from 1 to 200. But once you recognize the design, it is a Cloetian combination lock. If you know the number that will open the door, turn now to that section. Okay. If you happen to choose an incorrect section, then do not return here. Turn to 98 because you only have 1 chance. Right. Well, the number that I wrote down was 67. I'm sure that's going to be correct. So Let's see. You hear a faint click, followed by a dog growling and a soft whirling sound. So that would be Esme. A soft growling sound. And then the bronze door slides open as you hurry through. The door clicks and shuts behind your back as softly as it opened. Okay. This section is the correct section. Yes, good. Instinct tells you you've now entered the chambers of the upper palace. I thought I was trying to escape. I appear to have gone into the sumptuous private enclave of the Zahan. You walk upon glistening tiles of opal and platinum, past sculptures of statues made from pure gold. The door of the solid Amherst ahead seems plain in comparison to the breathtaking splendor of this private world. Okay. Beyond the door lies another unique, startling, beautiful world. The Arboretum, circular cathedral, arena spreads out before you. Velvet green canopy, alive with the sound of birdsong. Trees of every color, shape, and size flourish. The Khan's Arboretum has many species that are now extinct. You walk along an iron balcony which encircles the Arboretum. You recognize the leaves of a summer-lending oak. And you feel a sudden wave of homesickness. Oh, that's the trees of my homeland. One of the exits from the Arboretum, you discover a quarterstaff propped against the wall. If you wish to take it, mark it on your action chart as a weapon. Now, if I take it, I have to discard either my sword or the jeweled mace. I have a feeling that quarterstaff could be useful later, but I'm not sure. What do we think?
Well, you get +2 with the sword, don't you? So you don't.
Yeah, we can't drop the sword because that would reduce my combat.
Yeah, so it would have to be the mace.
Or we just leave the quarterstaff. All right. Well, I'll leave it. I like my jeweled mace. I feel like I earned it killing that snake.
Yeah.
All right. At one of the exits from the Arboretum, discover the quarterstaff. We got that. The desire to escape urges you to leave the Arboretum and hurry through a network of lavish corridors, empty and deserted vestibules. You reach a landing where a broad staircase descends to a massive room which occupies most of the lower palace. From the top of the staircase, hidden by the shadow of gilded pilaster, you stare down on a sight that freezes your blood with terror. Okay, turn to 200. Right, what's happening? That sounds all very ominous. Freezes my blood with terror. Sounds like your last audition, Mel. Upon a raised carpet with scarlet furs sits the Vasagonian Emperor Zakan Kamar. He is clothed in a shimmering gold robe that is devoid of ornamentation. Its hand there is an orb black metal, and in the eye there is an ice cruelty that chills your spine. He's a man of awesome countenance, but he pales in the shadow of his unnatural comparison. Before him stands the cause of your terror, a helm as black as death itself, but the stench of decay. The voice betrays the being's identity. Give me Lone Wolf. It is one of your mortal enemies, a Dark Lord of Helgard. Right, so these are kind of like the riders, the Black Riders in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They're called Heldad or Heldad. I don't know how you pronounce it. I call them Hellcasts. As the Zahn rises to his feet, you notice a flicker of doubt, perhaps fear, but he is quick to mask it. The Kai will be brought to you at sunset in exchange for the Orb of Death, as agreed. Orb of Death? Give me the Lone Wolf. Oh, he says, you have the orb. It echoes the chilling voice. Give me the Lone Wolf. The Zakan hides his... I'm not doing the voices very well here. Apologies for those people watching. Zakan hides his fear well, but time is not on his side. He's playing a deadly game of bluff with the Dark Lord. Yet the fact that he has not yet been discovered is evidence of his powerful will. You'll get the Northlander, Lord Hucken, says the Zakan. his voice curt with anger. When you tell me why your servants defile the tomb of the Majan, you claim to have no need of gold or jewels. Why do you plunder the graves of our ancestors? In other words, they're probably trying to resurrect them because they're all about resurrecting the undead, these guys. A deathly quiet fills the hall. This land, this insignificant speck of sand, harbours two small thorns that prick our skin. We seek to remove them both forever. The fledgling Kai they call Lone Wolf is the thorn that denies us Summerland. The tomb of the Majan hides the other thorn that threatens us, the accursed book of the Magna Kai. Your heart pounds as the words reverberate in your head. The book of the Magna Kai. Suddenly the reason why you have been enticed into this deadly trap becomes clear. The sinister truth is revealed. The book of Magna Kai is one of the oldest legends of Summerland. With the wisdom of the Magna Kai, Sun Eagle, the first Kai Grand Master, was able to instill the disciplines of the Kai into the warriors of Summerlending, serving the House of Ulnar, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, it's a book that gives my guys their Jedi powers, basically.
Yep.
Okay. All right. The book of the Magna Kai was lost, believed stolen hundreds of years ago, but its wisdom was kept alive by the Kai Masters, handed down by generations. If the Dark Lord should discover and destroy the book of Magna Kai, its secrets will be lost forever. And when you die, the Kai will be no more. However, if you're able to find the book and deny the Dark Lords their prize, then all wisdom of the Magna Kai shall be revealed to you, and you shall become more powerful than any Jedi ever known. Probably. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could ever imagine. By the power of its precious wisdom, funnily enough, it says something a bit like this. By the power of its precious wisdom, you will become strong enough to reach the ultimate achievement for a gifted Summerlending warrior, strong and wise to become a Kai Grand Master. All sounds very Cobra Kai. But the perils and glories of the quest that lies ahead are distracting you from a more immediate danger. Okay. So I have to turn here. You catch the sight of two warriors creeping towards you from the passageway to your right. They're clad in jet black armor and scarlet robes. The hideous death masks identify them as Drakeen warriors. They look like men, but they were created by the dark god Na and are not of this world. Kind of like orcs, I think. One of them holds a razor-fanged Akataz, a creepy leathery war dog, straining on a leash. If you, it leaps towards your throat. If you want to fight this war dog, so Esme, help me out here. Or do you want to try and escape, evade attack and make a hasty escape? I think we probably need to get the fuck out of here. Having the evil plot. What do you think?
Yeah, I think get out. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Keith. David, I'm afraid we did not swap the mace for the quarterstaff. I have a feeling we are going to regret that. It will definitely be Mel's fault if that's the case. All right. Okay, so we're going to try and escape. 285. All right. I definitely need to get an option where I'm letting the chat help with the decision. 285. Here we go. As you turn and sprint along the passage, a terrible roar of hatred fills the hall. Kill the Kai! You glance back. The Drakeen are unsheathing their black swords and eager. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Big chase. The dog thing's nearly upon me. It's called an Akataz, by the way. There's a really funny picture of it in the last book. Do you want to see that?
Yeah.
It is quite entertaining. Let me see if I can just get that. Because I got attacked by one of them in the Chasm of Doom. And it does look a bit like Esme, but on speed. Yeah, here it is. I found the picture already. You're going to love this.
That's Esme when she sees a van.
Yeah, so that's what's chasing me right now. Or certainly the equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that picture. It's like an evil Snoopy.
Yeah.
Okay. I can feel its fetid breath on the back of my legs. That's your experience of waking up every morning, I would imagine.
Yes.
With Esme. You glimpsed the grim silhouette of Dark Lord Hacken in the hall below, his spiked fist raised. The Drakkar appears as if from nowhere and advances upon you. There's deafening crack, bolt lightning, yada yada yada. Okay, so some magic, some stuff happens. The Drakkar lunges and wounds your arm. Lose 2 endurance, but he stands in the path of the bolt. In a blinding flash of light, the Drakkar is gone. Oh, I think the bad guy accidentally electrocuted the dog. I think that's what just happened. But I did take 2 endurance points of damage. Now my endurance. Now I've got my leather armor back. My endurance is now at 24, so it's currently down to 22. I've got my leather studded waistcoat, very kinky.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of the balcony, you can see another archway and a staircase. So basically, I can try and escape via the archway, or I can try and escape via stairs. It's kind of apples and oranges, really, isn't it? I mean, we want to go down, I suppose.
Yeah, taking you down or take you down to where the other 2 are. So
there is that. Archway or stairs? Archway or stairs? Chat.
Stairs.
Chip in. Mel's saying stairs. I know there's a time delay on the chat slightly. They're a little bit behind, but yeah. So okay, no one's chipping in. All right. Well, stairs it is then. Stairs it is. 317. See what happens. 317. And do you know what? I don't remember any of this book at all. I do remember enjoying it, but it's not like I'm reading it. It's all coming back to me. But then, you know, I did read it in like 1980, 87 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. Is it 317? Did I say 317?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this must be it. Okay. The blood is pounding loudly in your ears as you bound. Oh, the stairs are going up as you bound up the marble steps. 20 feet ahead of you, there is a landing with a stone door set into a wall. The stairs continue to ascend to a parapeted walkway, at the end of which there is another stone door identical to the first. Suddenly, the door on the first landing swings open and a palace guard wheels around to face you. "Majon!" he cries and fumbles for the hilt of his sword. If you wish to attack the guard before he can draw his weapon, or I can try and barge him aside and continue climbing the stairs. Why I'm going up, I've no idea. So attack or barge?
Might as well barge.
All right. Not sure about that, Mel. Not sure about that, but okay. I reserve the right to go back and make a different choice just in case I've just died. All right, here we go. A crossbow bolt grazes your shoulder just as you reach the walkway. Stinging pain makes you dive for cover in the parapet wall. Lose 1 endurance point. Okay, so I'm now, and this is all part of a combat situation, so I'm not healing at any point. So I'm now down to 21 of a possible 24. Then 2 more bolts ricochet from stone, barely inches from your head. The stone door is shut, secured by an iron bolt on this side. To pull open the bolt, you'll have to expose yourself to crossbow fire that's coming from the lip of the wall. If you possess the skill of Kai discipline of mind over matter, go to 269. I do possess that skill, so I will go there. 269. Okay, so this is all part of a big dramatic chase sequence. You fix. Oh, this is where I use my Jedi mind powers, by the way. You fix your stare at the bolt and will it to move. The sound of running footsteps behind you sends a cold shiver down your spine. After a few agonizing seconds, slowly the bolt begins to move. As soon as it clears the bolt hole, you wrench open the stone door, race through it, unaware of what may await you beyond. 352. Damn, man. Okay, 352. 352. Let's have a look. 352. 352. Beyond the portal, there lies a vaulted corridor which leads to a grand stairway. You narrowly avoid confrontation with a dozen Drakeem, saved in the nick of time by your lightning reactions. As the enemy rush from an archway on the second floor landing, you dive behind a statue of the recently deceased Zakan Medulla. They are so intent on their chase, they fail to notice you. Silently, you give thanks for the fact that Zakan Medulla was a very stout man. His large shadow giving you a place to hide. At the top of the stairwell, you discover a hatch, gives you access to the roof. You climb through it, follow a path. So I'm on the tiles on the roof now. This is all very Liam Neeson. You're feeling exhausted and you need a rest. Your mind is still full of shock of your encounter with the Dark Lord Hakan, the sound of his terrible voice repeating the words of the Book of Magnakai. With desperation sapping your will, you peer out through a grill in the bell tower. The sight you see renews your flagging hope, for it inspires a daring escape plan. Okay, go to 313. What is this daring escape plan you've come up with, Mel? Let's see. Below the bell tower, you see a line of Ithaca pens. What's an Ithaca? Do we know? Ithaca?
No.
Anyone? Ithaca? No. Each with its own circular landing platform. Oh, it then goes to tell you what an Ithaca is, and it just goes to show. I should just read out the whole thing, shouldn't I? Ithaca are a breed of huge black eagles that nest in the eyes high in the peaks of the Dahar. Oh, okay, so there's eagles nesting in the tower.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, they're in the back of the book, funnily enough. Yeah, these things.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad guys, actually, I think they ride on them. So, a bit like Gandalf.
Yeah.
An Ithaca and a rider swoop down from out of the reddening sky, alight on the platform to the nearest bell tower. Slaves hurl a rope to the rider, who in turn fixes to a saddle ring before he jumps to the ground. Okay, so it's kind of like an airport, effectively, for eagles. Its huge wing slowly winched into the pen by a hidden capstan. I don't know what that is. The rider and the slaves leave the platform. There was now only one sentry on guard. If you can overpower him, you should be able to make your escape from the Grand Palace on the back of this giant bird. Oh, as simple as that, huh? If you possess a blowpipe and a sleep dart, turn to 325. If you do not have these items, turn to 282. I don't think I ever came across that.
No, I don't remember you saying you've got it.
No, and it's not in my items that I've now recovered. So, well, I guess I'll have to. Naturally, I needed to drop one item. I'll drop a red pass, which is for the port, which I'm sure I'm not going to need. And then I've got jailer's keys as well, haven't I? Jailer's keys. Well, so it appears I might not be able to sedate the eagle before. Hang on, if I'm surely I'm not going to sedate the eagle.
No, it's for the guard.
Guard, okay. 282. You leave the bell tower and make your way down towards the sentry, at first dodging from one turret to the next. It is easy for you to remain unseen until you get to the 30 yards from the landing platform. There's no cover. The platform and the palace roof are linked by an exposed gangplank. If you are to overpower the sentry, you must first cross the gangplank. If you have the Kai discipline of mind over matter, which I do, turn to page 295. What are the other options? Oh, or you roll a dice. And you can roll a dice and use the Kai discipline of either hunting or camouflage to add a number. Let me use mind over matter. I might as well. I've got it, so I might as well use it. 295. Focusing your skill on a money pouch that hangs from the sentry's belt, you concentrate on untying the leather strap that secures it. Seconds later, the pouch drops to the ground, spilling its contents. "Oh no, my money!" says the guard. As he turns his back, you break from cover, run across the gangplank. Your speed and stealth carry you across the gangplank undetected. When you strike, the guard is still on his knees, scooping up his scattered gold. Your attack is silent and deadly. If you wish to search the guard's body, I think we do.
Yep.
Decide to ignore the body and hurry into the Ithaca's pen. No, let's search the body. Always search the bodies. So it's done us all right so far. You discover little of interest, only 8 gold crowns. Well, that brings me up to 48, not including the 14 I left at home. So I'm doing all right on money on this trip, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And a brass whistle on a chain. I have a feeling I'm going to need that, so I'm definitely going to keep that. I'm going to have to drop something though, because I've got 12 special items. I'm going to get rid of my coach ticket. That's from 2 books ago. Brass whistle. Pretty sure that coach ticket is out of date now.
Yeah.
You know, besides, it only covers zones 1 to 4. So Vasagonia is in zone 6. So I don't think it covers. Vasagonia, sadly. Okay. All right. So suddenly a noise alerts you to unwelcome company. Drakeem are rushing along the tiled pathway. Without a moment's hesitation, you turn and run inside the enclosure. All right, so we're now going into the eagle's nest, I think, effectively. 224. 224. Okay, there's some options here. Oh, not liking the look of this. The great black bird beats its massive wings and caws hoarsely in its doomed pens. There you go. There's the noise. 2 black eyes, fierce and cold, fix you with a deadly stare. Now, funnily enough, and then as you attempt to get on the saddle, it slashes and all the rest of it. Funnily enough, one of the options is if you have the Kai discipline of animal kingship, which I do. So it was good that I picked that. It's also asking me if I have the Onyx medallion. I don't think we picked up the Onyx medallion anywhere, did we?
No.
Okay. So, but I do have the kinship thing. So let me go. Let's use it. 308. I've not used it yet. So I didn't think I was going to need it in this one. 308. It can take many years for a rider to tame its Ithakar, or E-Clan, as they call them in Avatar. For you, by nature, they are wild and vicious creatures. Special Kai skills to communicate with the giant bird to assure it that you mean no harm. It fixes you with a cold black stare, but you sense it's no longer hostile. As you settle down upon its wide saddle, you catch a sight of the Drakeem coming across the gangplank. You lean forward, unhook the anchor rope, and snatch up the thick leather reins. Well, this is it. We're off. We're on the back of the eagle, soaring through the sky. 343. Let's see what happens. 343. You jerk backwards in the saddle as the powerful Ithaca leaves its perch. It shrieks. And a handful of Drakeem are scattered like ragdolls when the great black bird emerges from the pen and takes to the sky. You catch a glimpse of a Drakar, his death mask, slashed in 2 by the bird's razor-sharp talons. Okay. Shrieking in pain, he pitches from the landing platform and tumbles to his death in the gardens below. Very nice. The golden domes of the Grand Palace shrink away as your Ithaca gathers speed. Soon you've passed over the city wall and find yourself heading out towards the shimmering salt flats of Lake Irene. Now, just as well I put the map up because we're out the city. Look at that. Let's have a look. The salt flats of Irakim, are they on this map anywhere? I don't see them. No. I don't know why I'm trying to draw things. Oh, hang on. Did it say lake? Soon you passed over the shimmering salt flats of the lake is right below the city there. See that blue thing?
Yeah.
Up in the corner there. There it is.
Yeah.
So we're currently flying over that. Okay. Here are the options. The land below is bathed in a beautiful orange twilight as the sun slowly sinks behind the Dahir Mountains. Very, very scenic, very filmic. Elated by the success of your daring escape, you throw back your head and give voice to a triumphant yell.
Yes!
Excellent. Very good, Mel. I feel it could have done with a bit more, but it was good. As if in answer to your cry, an echoing chorus of shrieks pierces the sky. Fear returns to your heart as you catch sight of a flock of Kran. Okay, Kran are like the winged beast that the Black Riders ride. Each of them carries a Drakeen warrior astride their back. They're more than a mile behind you, but they're quickly closing it. Okay, so basically we've got some pursuers coming after. Less than an hour of daylight remains. Here we go. You're high above the center of the lake. You must decide in which direction to steer your flying mount. Consult the map. If you wish to choose to steer south towards the Dahir Pass. Okay, so the pass is that road that runs through the mountains. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go east towards the town of Chula. That's the town here by the lake. Okay, well, I'm going to let Mel or Chat decide that one. So, what are we thinking? The 6 people watching. If you look, the options are go to this town here by the lake here, or we can head down this pass. Now, at the minute, just so people know the grand picture, we want to get back to our country, which is located right over here. Kasorn is a friendly town. Okay, so you can see it's got a blue flag. All of these others have got red, so that everything that's got a red flag is associated with a kingdom or a duchy of Vasagonia, and there's lots of different lords with varying degrees of loyalty, but they're all pretty mean. So let's what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Town or mountains?
I'm thinking about the book, which is probably we don't want to go away from the book, maybe.
Did he say they were after the book, but they didn't say where it was?
No, they didn't.
Other than there was something about why do you want to disturb the tombs of our elders and that kind of thing. I have a feeling that those tombs are not in Barrakesh, but I will consult my notes. David Macy is saying, go to the town. The mountains look dangerous. Well, he's not wrong, but the mountains take us further away from the city, which is also dangerous. I'm just going to read in the town, see if there's anything about there being burials. It's the most infamous. No, okay. No. See, there's a square called the Square of the Dead, but that's where they execute people. It's not where important people are buried. Okay. Okay. No, nothing about where the people of old may end up. Yeah. Significant number of nomads who have walked the dry main. Tribal forces regularly meet in the free city of Chudan. I don't know where that is. Is that even on this map? Oh yeah, it's over here. Chudan, right over in the west there. Don't think we can get to that right now. Well, city or mountains. Keith is saying, and I'm not sure this is a serious suggestion, thank the bird and go to Tallulah Bankhead. No idea what Tallulah Bankhead is. Pretty sure that Tallulah's surname in Bugsy Malone is not Bankhead. So, well, what are we thinking, Mel? We got to steer south, or we're going to go east towards the town?
I don't know why, but I'm thinking town.
Okay, well, David, looks like we're going with your suggestion, and we are going town. All right. I did say I would let Mel and chat decide. 244. Okay, 244. Here we go. 244. We are okay. Clearly, you can see the main highway, so we're still on top of the bird, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That connects Tula to the capital, crosses the desolate salt plain of Lake Inrahim by causes of a causeway nearly 30 feet high. It's a useful landmark by which you can steer. Little stone houses with beaten earth roofs are grouped in small clusters along the highway, their numbers increasing as you draw nearer to the town. You are 5 miles from Tula when you notice a dark cloud hovering several feet above one of the small villages. It's a cloud of Kran, and they're moving to intercept you. Suddenly, the Icata squeals in pain, and a splash of feathers billows out from its wing. A Kran has closed in from behind and is less than 100 yards distant. His Trakeem rider holsters his now empty crossbow and draws his black sword. So I think my creature's been hit. Okay. And now I've got to fight him. Now, okay, so good decision, Mel and David. Thank you. Here's the situation. The Kran and its rider are swooping down on you from behind. You're only able to fight for one round of combat before they're carried past by the momentum of their attack. So it's a bit like an aerial combat scenario.
Yep.
If you lose more endurance points than the enemy, turn to 347. If he loses more than you, if it's the same number. Okay, all right. So we're in a combat situation. So he's got combat skill of 20. My current combat skill is
19.
It's 18 with no adjustments. I've got my shield back. That's +2. That's 20. I've got my sword, which is +2 because I'm skilled with a sword. My current combat skill is 22. So I've got 2 over him. My endurance is up to is back to its max by now because I haven't been in combat for ages. So my endurance is 24. So it's going to be a close run thing here. Definitely going to be a close run thing. This could go bad. Could go bad. I've noticed it's good to avoid combat in this game a lot of the time, if you can. You can hear the dogs. The dogs agreeing. Okay. Yeah. Right, here we go, Esme. Right, first die roll 3. Shit. I think he still loses more than me on +2, but let's find out. Does he loses 6? He's got endurance of 28. So can you remember 22?
Yeah.
I've lost 3, so my endurance has gone down to 21. And we kind of won the first round of combat, so we got to turn to 347. Wincing from the sharp pain of your wound, you snatch the reins back and urge the Ithaca to climb higher. The Drakkar is now over 100 feet below, but he's bringing his shrieking Kran round for another attack. You wheel to the south to avoid being caught between the 2 converging squadrons of Kran riders. Somehow I don't think I'm going to get to go in that town.
No.
Your sudden change of direction increases the distance between you and your pursuers, but your feathered mount is badly wounded and you are close to despair. The Ithaca is losing so much blood, you feel it is likely to fall unconscious at any moment. If it does, it will drop you like a stone on the surface below. Then you spot something extraordinary in the distance. It is a sight that makes you gasp with disbelief. Yeah, good. That was very good, Mel. Well, that was very good. 221 we have to go to. 221. What is this sight? Emerging from the bank of the cloud on the skyline, you see a flying ship. It is a small craft, no bigger than an on river barge with two triangular sails swept back either side of the curving prow. Into the fading light, you can make out a long pennant that flutters from the mast. Now, that wandering guy was supposed to have a ship. In the reading in the books about the world of Magnamund,
Yeah.
that guy who's got that useful book with lots of interesting shit in it, he also he was gifted a flying boat by the people that makes it. So I think it's probably going to be his. As the ship glides nearer, you can tell it's not a mirage, it's real. If you've ever visited the ruins of Ramirus in a previous Lone Wolf adventure, turn to 336. Well, yes, I have. Because if you look on my character sheet, which I'll just show quickly to prove the point, I actually keep a note of the places that I visit. And at the bottom of it, you can see there's a list of places visited. And you can see in that the top, towards the bottom, Temple of Raumus actually is in the middle. So I have been there, the ruins of Raumus. It's a ruined temple, basically. Okay, so that's good. Wow, Esme must be like well into that dream.
As long as she doesn't start having a nightmare again.
How can you tell which is which?
The nightmare is when she gets up, starts barking, and runs round, but she's still asleep.
Yeah, that doesn't sound so good.
No, that's what she did earlier when I turned my mic off.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that. Right, here we go. Standing on the fortified platform in the center of this strange craft is a young man with deep, brooding eyes. You instantly recognize him. It's Baindon, the young Summerlanding magician who gave you the crystal star pendant. I've got the crystal star pendant. Yeah, I've still got that. At the ruins of Ramos, and after you saved his life in the Gaiac ambush. My God, yeah. You are so stunned by his unexpected appearance that you fail to notice the blood which is seeping from the Ithaca's mouth. The creature is near death. Suddenly, the great bird lets out a pitiful, agonized cry. Its wings stiffen. Yeah. As you see its last flicker of life escape from its torn body, it pitches forward. Your stomach heaves as you plummet down. Pick a number from the random table. If you possess the Kai discipline of animal kinship, deduct 1. Okay, so actually what we're going to do is we're going to do a die roll, and we're going to -1 on the die roll. Here we go. I have a feeling that we might be near the end of this, you know. Oh, shit, that's not good. 6. If you roll 5 to 8, turn to 2, 5, 4. Okay. Don't think this is going to be great. The chill air whips past your face as you tumble towards the lake. The Crown Riders, the skyship, and the distant horizon all melt into a kaleidoscope of shapes and images. You fear these will be the last things you ever see. You have prepared yourself for death and resigned yourself to your fate when suddenly you feel your body engulfed by a mass of sticky fibers. There is a terrific jolt which leaves you stunned and breathless. Lose 2 endurance points. Okay. Yeah, we're kind of still in a combat situation, so I won't have healed anything at this time. So I'm down to 19. You've been caught by a net of sticky strands like a fly in a web. You are now rising towards the flying ship just as quickly as you fell. 3 bearded dwarves, clad in padded battle jerkins, pull you aboard the outrigger that runs the length of the hull. There is no time to express your gratitude to them for saving your life, because the small ship is under attack from several Crown Riders. At the end of the outrigger, a dwarf is locked into hand-to-hand battle with a snarling Drakkar. He is losing the battle. As you rush to help him, another of the evil warriors lands in the center of the craft atop its fortified platform. Choose to help the dwarf, or leap from the outrigger onto the fortified platform instead. So help the dwarf, or attack the one that's gone to the fortified platform. Magic persons, not dwarves. That's in accordance with the new Disney Snow White. Magical creatures, I think they're called in new Snow. What do you reckon, Mel? Dwarf or fortified platform?
Fortified platform.
Okay, I'm going to keep the combat thing up because I have a feeling we're going to need it. Okay, so we're not going to help the dwarf. Okay. I don't know. You're so dwarfist. 361. Okay, we're leaving the dwarf to his fate. He can handle it. He's going to knee him in the balls.
Yeah.
Ducking beneath the boom sail, you clamber onto the platform just in time to witness a desperate struggle. The magician is pinned to the deck, his left arm skewered by an enemy spear. Do you know what? I think you picked the right option here. With the staff in his right hand, he's trying to fend off the dismounted Kran rider. The Drakkar senses your presence. Instantly, he whirls around. Okay, we're in a combat situation. He's got combat skill of 18. He's got endurance of 25. I've got combat skill currently of 22. So it's a +4. Okay, so we want to roll high. And it's telling us if we win in 3 rounds or less, I think we're going to get to save the dwarf. First round, here we go. It's a 3. Okay, that's not so great. That's not so great. Could have been better. So on +4, he has taken 7 points of damage. Can you deduct that off 25? That's 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay, remember 18. I've taken 3, so I'm down to 16. That was a big yawn there, sound like I heard. Okay, we're going in for the second round of combat here. Oh my God, it's a 2. That's even worse. On +4. Okay, the enemy has taken. Oh, hang on, that's wrong. Sorry. The enemy's taken 6 points of damage.
So 12.
Okay, and I'm on 13 endurance. Okay, third round of combat. We need high because we want to kill this thing. Come on. Okay, it's taken 7 points of damage. I've taken
5.
I've taken 3. Okay, we're now on to the fourth round of combat, so we didn't kill it quickly. Jesus Christ, what's with the low rolls? 4 low rolls in a row. So that's a 3. So it's taken 7. So I take it it's dead.
It is, yeah.
And I'm down to 7 endurance points. So I really don't want to get into another round of combat. I have to turn to 382. I have a feeling this is going to be bad. Okay. Suddenly the Drakkar emits a chilling scream. His limbs outstretched, his gloved hands claw the air. He is in the grip of some invisible power, which is crushing him to death inside his armor. You step back as the ghastly sound, cracking bones and tearing flesh rises above the screech of the swooping Kran. The broken Drakkar crumples to the deck and topples over the edge of the platform. Oh, cool. If you have ever visited the ruins of Ramusus in a previous Lone Wolf adventure, turn to 399. I have. Turn to 399. Okay. All right. Baindon lowers his staff, and you detect the trace of a wise smile on his pain-racked face. Alas, I was too slow to protect myself, Lone Wolf, he says, glancing at his arm. You kneel by his side and free the spear that pins him to the floor. The wound is serious. Hastily, you staunch the bleeding with a strip of cloth torn from your dark robes. As you're doing this, you recognize these robes, for they are the attire of a journey master. It seems that young Baindon has achieved distinction among his order since you last met. It appears we are fated to meet in their company, he says, watching the Kran riders anxiously. Help me to my feet. We must escape them before they drag us from the sky. You support the mission as a magician as he grasps the ship's helm. It is unlike any you've ever seen. A radiant crystal sphere with hundreds of glowing facets set upon a slim silver rod. No sooner has his hand closed around the crystal helm than there's a tremendous explosion. Okay. And now I was about to drink a potion of Lampspur, but I don't think I've had time. So 3, 2, 3. But I need to drink potions as soon as possible. Okay, the explosion is followed by a large cloud of smoke, which engulfs the cabin. As the noise rumbles, yeah, that's the rumbling noise, right? Across the desolate salt plain, you hear the agonizing shriek of a wounded Kran. There you go. Comes spiraling past the platform with a ragged hull tent in its broken wing. Smoke clears to reveal the grinning face of a dwarf framed in the cabin window. A smear of soup blackens his rosy cheeks and exaggerates the whiteness of his crooked smile. He's holding a tube of smoking steel that you assume to be a magic staff until you notice that each of the dwarves are carrying identical staves. Okay, I think they've basically got blunderbusses of some kind.
Yeah.
Is this magician Ray Winston? We don't know. Let's see. The dwarves are from the mountain kingdom of Boar. They're armed with firearms, one of many inventions. Okay, right. The Kran are terrified by the noise of the guns. Panic, they turn and fly away. Good. The primitive firearms have claimed only one victim, but nevertheless, they've driven off the enemy and saved the skyship from disaster. Right, now, while I have a chance, I'm going to have a potion of Lampspur because I can do that if I'm not in combat. That immediately restores 4 endurance points, puts me back up to 11 because 7 is way too low.
Mm-hmm.
Baindon steers the craft, banking steeply until the ship is facing the darkening peaks of the southern mountains and the distinct V-shapes of the Dahir Pass. So we might as well have gone to that pass anyway, because I feel like that's where we were going to end up. Pick a number from the random number table. Well, that's a die roll. And it's not giving me any adjustments, but it's either 2 or lower or higher. So I guess we don't want to roll low, I'm guessing. I'm guessing low is bad. Nine. Okay, 9 is good, I hope. 312. Turn to 312. The dwarves are clearing the deck of battle debris. A dead Drakkar lies sprawled across a pile of chests and sacks that are roped beneath the boom sails. The dwarves grab his legs to cast him over the side. Suddenly he springs to life and sends the dwarves tumbling in all directions. He screams like a fiend, his black cutting a wide arc around his blood-smeared body armor. Cursed, vile, and evil echoes from his death mask as he draws his axe to throw. His chosen target is you. If you have the Kai discipline of hunting or sixth sense, turn to 210. I do. I have both of those, actually. So I'm hoping I can dodge this attempted assassination. 210, 210, 210. You dive aside, your Kai skill saving you from the axe. Good. Yada, 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 yada. And then he's shot by a dwarf, falls over the boat. As if in answer to the gunshot, there's a menacing roll of thunder that rumbles across the plain from Brakesh. It is the city itself is cursing your escape. Baindon appears at your side, his face lined with concern. He offers a hand, picks you up to your feet. You notice the makeshift bandage that binds his wound is soaked through with blood. If you possess the Kai discipline of healing, I do. Turn to 377. Now, okay, I think that doesn't count as a round out of combat, that bit, because we've just still been in it, technically.
Yeah.
377. Changing your hands around his injured arm, you concentrate your Kai skill on healing the torn muscle. The warmth of your healing power numbs his pain and repairs the internal damage sufficiently to be able to remove the bloke-stained strips of cloth. The wound is still open, but it is clean, and your timely aid has saved his limb. We'll help him now, Lone Wolf, shouts a strange voice. You are surprised by the boldness of this assertion. You turn around to find out who has made it. Turn to 339. Okay, whose voice is this? 339. Two dwarves clamber up on the platform and hurry to their young captain's side. One flicks open a red velvet satchel, strapped to his barrel-like chest, and removes a glass vial, cleans the linen bandage. They attend to the wound, yada, yada, yada. Bandon speaks, his voice full of grim determination. The future of Summerland rests in our hands, Lone Wolf. We must stop the Dark Lord Hakaran from destroying the Book of the Magna Kai. I've heard tell the tomb of a Majan in the nomads of the dry plain. They say it's a terrible place, a place filled with horror and death. For what little there is left to die there. It lies beyond the Dahir, near the oasis of Balofdan. That is all I know. Okay, hang on a minute. This is a lot of locations. Where's our map? Let's get the map up here. Present. There it is. Okay, so see if you can see any of these things on there. It says near the oasis of Bao Lofdan, and there's a couple of oasis on the map. There's one
one there and one just north there. Yeah. Oh, there's one right down south as well.
But I don't see a place called Bao Lofdan though. Okay. Well, we'll see. Actually, maybe if we have a quick look at the bigger map, it might be on there. Let's look at the Lone Wolf book. I think that's on. Yeah, that's on this. If I cut from the to the here we go. Just in case it's any of these. Kebab. Oh, Balofdan Oasis. There it is. So it's the one outside the pass.
Mm-hmm.
So on the other map, yeah, that's not actually marked on that map. How helpful. But it is marked on this one. Balofdan Oasis. So that'd be pretty near to where we are, because at the minute we're flying over these mountains.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That is all I know, for the Majan hid their tombs well, and what few traces remain have long since disappeared beneath the shifting sands of the dry main. Your face conveys the disappointment you feel upon hearing these words. However, all is not lost, he says, undaunted. There is a man who can guide us there. His name is Tipsa Adaruk, or Tipsa the Wanderer, he is better known, or Tipsa the Pissed, or Tipsy Pissed. It is he whom we must seek, for he is the only man who has ever entered the tomb of the Majan and lived to tell the tale. Okay, right. So we continue towards the pass. It's becoming night. You begin to feel uneasy. We're going through the mountains. They're very close. It's all like the beginning of the film Alive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Lone Wolf, says Norim, the dwarf with the velvet satchel. The captain will see us through now. Okay, so we go through. The guy kind of goes into some sort of trance. The dwarf leads you to a cabin where the crew are already recounting their glorious victory. They're seated at a table. You suddenly realize how hungry you are. There's lots of spiced meat and so forth. You restore 3 endurance points. And actually, with my power of healing, that will be 4. So I'm up to 15. However, you have doubts about accepting a jug of ale. Boar brew is so strong that in many cities it's banned. If you choose to accept a jug of this notorious ale, turn to 392. If you would prefer to decline the dwarves' offer, turn to 283. I shit you not, that's the choice before us. Get pissed or drink the ale.
Yeah. I think we might end up in a combat situation, so maybe refuse the drink.
We are of a monk-like order, so I think we should politely decline. The dwarves are not offended by your refusal. They have seen men stirred to fury or laid unconscious by a jug of boar brew. Norin grasps the tankard and downs the draught with one awesome gulp. He then admits a loud belch.
Bleh.
Oh, boo, Mel. I think you could have done a real one.
I can't belch on demand, unfortunately.
Okay, I can. If you wish to ask the dwarves how they came to be under Bainden's command, turn to 291. If you decide to miss out on crucial information and go to bed, turn to 359. Right, well, I think we'll have a quick chat.
Yes. Yeah, it does say crucial information, so...
Well, it doesn't say that, but that's what I'm assuming. You learn that the dwarves were once the crew of a more conventional vessel, a merchantman that sailed the Tenetaris, vast expanse of lakes and landlocked seas, which connect and form a canal stretching nearly 3,000 miles. They were created, lots of stuff about them being created a long time ago. The dwarf was named Quan, lost his ship and cargo whilst gambling at cards. Seems the unfortunate captain was unaware of Bainden's true profession until it was too late. As a result, Bainden became the dwarves' captain, and ever since they've adventured with him across the lands and skies of southern Magnamund. Skyrider itself was given to Bainden by the magicians of Desi in return for his help of defeating the Gagadoth, a monstrous creature that terrorized their land. Skyrider was traveling from Desi on its way to Barrakesh when you appeared. The dwarves have overheard your talk with Bainden. They're very excited by the prospects of new adventure, but at this point I tell them that they're probably wearing red Star Trek shirts, and they should not expect too much. In my last adventure, I started my quest with 50 rangers. Guess how many of them made it?
Don't know. 2?
Yeah, none. Well, actually 10, because 10 of them got sent home when we had a load of our horses nicked. All the rest of them died on their travels with me. Okay, so I now have a rest. The dwarf apologizes that the bunk is too short for me, but I've already fallen asleep. I restored 2 endurance points. Okay, good. I would have restored 1 anyway on that one. 17. And then turn to 300. So I'm guessing it's now the next day. You're still okay for time? This has gone on longer than I anticipated. Okay. Well, I feel we're probably near the end, so let's see if we can complete the quest. You wake shortly after dawn to the sound of snoring dwarves. Brilliant. That's just and that's the perfect time for Vex Electronica to arrive, because she is the queen of the kingdom of the dead cats. So she's see, perfect timing. Yeah, we get sound effects and everything on this stream, Vex. It's really good. Vex actually is one of the people who runs the channel that I did the Fellowship of the Ring Part 1 discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Extended version, of course, and I did my own entertaining intro for it, which Vex is still recovering from. Okay, so gathering your equipment, you climb out on deck to find everything in shadow. The Skyrider is hovering beneath a massive outcrop of sandstone that juts out the side of a mountain, thousands of feet above the valley floor below. Bainden stands at the helm. He's no longer in a trance. Kron riders, he says, pointing to the sun-bleached valley beyond the shadows. They arrived with the dawn. You stare out across this alien landscape, a mountain valley filled with pillars of massive and precarious balanced boulders. Oh, so that's like those tall towers you get in some bits of Africa where they've got huge rocks on the top.
Yes, yeah.
Vasagonians call this place the Coos. The Coos. Is that on the map? Can you see that on the map?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. Look. So it's to the west of the Oasis area.
Yeah.
The Coos. So we're in the Coos at the minute. Okay. They call it the Coos, which means the Needles. The rock columns climb so high into the sky that an avalanche seems unavoidable. Perched upon 2 of the columns are Kran, their Dracoon riders scouring the valley with telescopes. An hour passes before they take to the air and disappear. Okay, trim the boom sail says Noel Rim, his voice barely audible above the increasing hum of the Skyrider's engine. We've a fast run ahead. Okay, so if you possess the black crystal cube, turn to 299. If you do not possess this special item, turn to 247. I don't think we picked up a black crystal cube, did we? How come we've missed all this good shit?
Don't
I know. I mean, at least we got our stuff back. I've got a blue stone triangle, but I don't think that counts. Okay, well, I guess we don't possess the super speedometer or whatever it would do. So we're going to 247. Okay. The voyage through the Coups is breathtaking. The Skyrider glides between these magnificent towers of rock. Oh, there's even a little drawing. Which rise from the valley floor with fantastic and unearthly grandeur. It's a pretty basic drawing, but you kind of you get the idea. There you go.
Yeah.
You keep a watchful eye on the skies, but to your relief, you see no signs of the enemy. Icarish, says Baindon pensively, the eagle's lair. That is where we will find Tipsa. Oh, yeah, Tipsy the Wanderer, the drunkard. He roams the dry main, but he always returns to Icarish. So, Icarish, is that on that map as well? It is. Icarish is to the north of the Coups. Just there. That's Icarish.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that is also marked on the bigger map, which is clearer. So let's put the bigger map back up because it's better. Okay, so Icarish is just here, wedged in that little valley pass there. It is late afternoon when you reach the hills beyond the Coups that overlook the town of Icarish. Baindon moors the Skyrider to a pinnacle of stone, and a rope ladder is lowered to the ground. It has been decided that you and he will enter Icarish on foot, locate Tipsa, while Norim and the crew wait in hiding for your return. Yeah, fair enough. I think that the sight of a flying ship above the town might alert people to our presence somewhat.
Yeah.
It now says we have to pick a random number from the chart. So in other words, we have got to roll the dice. So let's do that quickly. There's no adjustments of any kinds. It's just a straight roll. -1 for dog grumbling. It's a 2. I'm not liking the look of this. If you have picked 2 or lower, turn to 337. I mean, that sounds like that might be bad.
Yeah.
Without the breeze of the speeding Skyrider to cool you, the oppressive heat of the mountains is almost unbearable. You trudge across the loose reddish sand. Your face is covered to keep the dust from choking your throats. All that seems to grow in this desolate waste is the wide, hard grass. As you reach the outskirts of Icarish, you pass a small round hut where a goat is eating from a manger next to its door. A man appears at the darkened doorway and bids you welcome. Judging by the look of the hut, this man is going to say, I don't recall owning a droid.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's old Ben. Have you heard of him? Of course I've heard of him. He's me. If you have the Kai discipline of 6th sense, turn to 365. I do have the Kai discipline of 6th sense. I'm so glad I have that discipline. You sense this man's show of friendship is quite genuine. He may be able to find you, help you find tips of the pissed if you accept his hospitality. If you choose to enter his home, turn to 225. Well, I mean, my Kai discipline of 6th sense is never wrong.
Yeah.
So I've been able to detect dead cats on Vex's bed and all sorts of things. So 225, although that might be my animal kinship skill, of course. 225. Did I? Oh, hang on. I went to the wrong. Let me just double check that. If you choose to enter his home, 225. That's right. I went to 325. 225. The man is short of stature, but broad-shouldered and strongly built, physical characteristics common among the tough mountain dwellers of Vasagonia. He pulls a cork from a bottle of lime green wine, pours out 3 measures in earthenware cups. Koshar, he exclaims, and downs the wine in one swift gulp. Now, we've either got to choose to follow his example or not. And I have a feeling that if we don't follow his example, we're going to offend him.
Yeah. No, I was thinking that.
We have already... We've established that, according to our sixth sense, he's all good. Okay. Despite your misgivings, the lime green wine tastes surprisingly good. A warm glow radiates from your stomach, and a comfortable sense of well-being. Restore 2 endurance points, and actually, I can restore 2 more because we've gone through 2 sections with no combat, so I can restore 4 in total, which brings me back up to 21. The man looks delighted by your reaction to the wine. He offers to sell you a bottle for 5 gold crowns. Do you know what? Yeah, we'll have one. We got loads of money.
Yeah.
Got 48 gold crowns. So let's take that. That's down to 43. We now have a bottle of Koresh in our special items. We're going to have to dump something. I think we can dump this scroll that I've got because that was for the last. It's a scroll relevant to the last event with like a riddle on it. It's not going to be. I doubt I'm going to need it again. So bottle of Koresh, okay, or Korash. I think it's pronounced Korash. Bottle of Korash wine. I feel like so when you drink that, it restores 2 endurance points. So that's kind of like a good thing to have. Not very realistic compared to the wine that I drink. Although when I drink wine from Sardinia, I do feel like it restores 2 lance endurance points because it's so fucking good. Okay, so 2 choices. If we wish to question him about Tipsy the Wanderer, turn to 318, or if we leave his home and continue on his way. Well, we went into the home to question him.
Yeah.
We're not just going to go in the home and get pissed, are we? And then not question him.
No.
So I think jovial conversation takes place. We go to 318. Tipsa, he replies thoughtfully. Let me do an interesting voice. Tipsa, he lives near the Duga market, but exactly where his home is, I am not sure. I haven't seen old Tipsa for years, but if you should find him, remind him of Carminsham the goat herder. He still owes me 12 crowns that I've not forgotten. I don't know what was going on with that accent. There's a bit of Cockney and everything in there. You thank the goat herder for his help, bid him farewell, and continue your trek towards... Okay, so the information that we got out of him was he doesn't know where he is, but he owes him money.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll prove useful. So basically, if this guy asks to borrow money, we say no. Okay, we've got 3 options. You follow the path along a gully, you go past some mountains, yada, yada, yada. After a while, the white walled buildings of Ikisha suddenly appear, and you found yourself standing in a small square close to an open archway at the town's east gate. There's an eagle cast in bronze, the emblem of the mountain town. 3 bronze arrows held in its beak. Okay, and then on each of the bronze shafts is inscribed a name, and each points to a different exit from the square. If you wish to go north towards the Dugger Market, if you want to go to the main square, or you want to go that which is west or south along the Avenue of Eagles.
Well, the tipsy bloke lives by the market, doesn't he?
Is that what the guy said?
Yeah.
Let's go to the market then. I'm glad you were listening to what he said. I didn't pay any attention. 376. Okay, this is why I've got Mel along for the ride. I was so busy doing the guy's voice, I didn't actually listen to what he was saying. 40 paces along the street is a barracks with a long whitewashed building with ugly square windows. A soldier sits dozing in the evening sun with a spear resting in his lap. Some children are tossing hollowed out luma fruits at him, trying to catch them upon the tip of his spear. Opposite the barracks stands a tavern with a line of saddled dugas tied to a rail near the main door. The braying of these sand horses rivals the sound of revelry drifting out of the tavern door. So enter the tavern or continue to the market.
Continue to the market.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he might be in the tavern, but yeah, it's a bit early for the tavern, isn't it? It's like daytime. 202. Continue to the market. Okay, 202. You pass beneath an arch where two brass gilded conical towers gleam like gold. Beyond the arch, you discover a marketplace crowded with squabbling merchants. Exotic carpets, brightly coloured cloth, all manner of foods being brought and sold and haggled over, so you quickly purchase a curly-whirly for 1 gold crown. The north side of the marketplace is devoted to the auction of duggars, or duggars. These are sleek but noisy desert beasts. I don't know why my alarm's going off. That are being paraded for the benefit of the bidders around a paddock. I guess they're kind of like camels, basically.
Yeah.
Keith has just said the wine will be good when you find the alcoholic. Yes, indeed. Just past the stables, the street vanishes away into the carpet weavers' quarter of Ikaresh. Okay. What else is there? If you choose to investigate the stables, if you want to ask one of the merchants if they know where Tipsa lives, or if you wish to leave the marketplace, you can continue along the adjoining street.
Ask a market trader.
I think so. Ask a merchant. Yeah, 248. That would have been my 248. A small heavy set. Are there any other kind of merchants in this world? A small heavy set merchant is hawking his wares from a stall set close to the archway, his eyes twinkling from beneath his turban. He sells miniature pugs of all kinds. As you approach, he launches a flood of wild claims, trying to persuade you to buy his clearly inferior trinket pugs. He looks surprised when you interrupt him with your question. Tipsa? Yes, I do know where he lives. He holds up a gaudy waistcoat of pink and orange sackcloth and offers it to you. It would make a worthy gift for your esteemed friend. Only 5 gold crowns. Clearly the merchant expects you to purchase this shoddy garment in exchange for being told where Tipsa lives. If you decide to buy the waistcoat, if you refuse to buy or tell him you cannot afford it, right, so we're going to hand over some money for a piece of shite or not.
Yeah, let's hand over the money.
Yeah, we've got loads of money anyway, haven't we? We've got loads of money. Yeah. So, okay, now we've only got 38 gold crowns left. Okay, so...
But you've got 14 back in the safe.
I have. I've got 14 back in the safe. 328. 328. Okay. Unless, of course, this adventure doesn't end with me going home. Then I can't go back and get it. Or my sword. 328. The merchant's face beams with joy. He eagerly pockets your gold. The first alley on the left, past the stables. It lives in a house with the blue door. Okay, so we continue. We go down the alley. We find the blue door. Turn to 206. Okay. Let's see if he's here or if he's in the tavern. Maybe if we'd gone straight to the tavern, we might have found him a bit quicker. There is no reply to your first knock. You're about to knock again when the door opens a few inches and the red-rimmed eyes of an old woman stare out from the darkness. Now, her line, and I feel that you should say this line because it's an old woman. So, obviously, you'll need to act, Mel, because you're a very young woman.
Yeah.
Her line is, Baindon, thank the gods it is you.
Baindon, thank the gods it's you.
She ushers you both inside and quickly locks the door. The house is sparsely furnished, and what little there is either damaged or completely destroyed. She's got another line. They've taken him, Baindon. They've taken my husband, the men with the faces of the dead. 10 days ago, they came like shadows in the night.
They've taken him, Baindon. They've taken him. The men with the dead faces. They took him 10 days ago in the middle of the night.
She breaks down, her frail body racked by sobs. Baindon comforts her, but you can sense that he shares her bitter loss. The Drakim have taken Tipsa. Of that there is no doubt. By now they would have made him tell everything he knows about the tomb of Ajan. We will find him, I promise, says Bainton, wiping the tears from the old woman's face. But you must try to help us if you can. Tipser always kept a diary of his travels. Do you have it still? A flicker of hope shines in the old woman's eyes. She says, guess.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, she does. Yeah, she has it. It is here. He told me to hide it in case the evil men came for him. She kneels at an empty fireplace, prizes a loose brick from the chimney. Leather-bound book drops from its hiding place into her hand. She gives it to Bainton, who studies the yellow pages. You notice the book is full of cryptic symbols and numbers, calculations and pictograms. And once again, we have the image of the book. There it is. Okay. They are drawn by the night stars, says Bainton, tracing his finger along the astronomical drawings. They hold the secret, I know, but without my star charts, we cannot hope to find the tomb. We must return to the Skyrider at first light. There we shall be able to make some sense of the book. Okay, turn to 331. All right. So I'm guessing we've got to go and find this tomb, and with it the book, and then hopefully we've succeeded in our mission. 331. You get only a little sleep this night. Yeah, no surprise there. Oh, that's another 2 sections with no combat. So my endurance is back up to 23. Your mind is filled with the challenges of the quest that lies before you, and you're haunted by the fears that the Dark Lord Hahn may have already beaten you to the tomb of the Majan and found the Book of the Magnakai. You rise before dawn and breakfast on a meal of sheep's balls and dry milk cake before bidding farewell to Tipser's wife. You trek back to the Skyrider uneventfully. By noon, you've reached a rocky crag where the craft is moored. Norim is the first to greet you, but he cannot hide disappointment. You've returned unaccompanied. Do not worry, Norim. The answer lies here, says Bainton, pointing to Tipser's diary. Prepare to set sail. Okay. So for 3 hours, he pores over charts and calculations. It's no use. I can't fathom these numbers. Okay. Oh my God. Right. Listen to this, Mel. This is this is going to be interesting. As you peer at the pages of Tipser's diary, suddenly you realize they're written in code. What Bainton assumes to be the position of the stars is in fact a code to 3 numbers that gives you the precise location of the tomb. Consult the map at the front of this book. We need the other map up. Because we're going to have to work this out, and that's how we're going to find it. Right. Right, so consult the map to help you discover the location of the tomb of the Majan. The first of the 3 numbers is equal to the number of oases on the trail between Ikaresh and Bir Rabalu. So that's going to be a number between 1 and 3. Bir Rabalu is here.
Right.
Ikaresh is here. There are 3 oases on the trail. So the first number is 3. Okay. The second number is equal to the number of cities in Vasagonia. Fucking hell. That's quite a few. So let me just double check because the picture's slightly cropped there. And I think all of these things are cities. The only one I'm not sure about is the tower on the east that's called Chadan, but I think that's a city as well. So let's take it as gospel that's a city. So number 3. So there's, I don't know, how can we tell that they're cities or towns?
I don't know.
So the first number's 3. Okay, hang on. The third number is equal to the number of islands off the coast of Cape Kabar. Cape Kabar. Right, you can't see it on this map, but there's a cluster of islands to the right of this. Oh, wait a minute. Cape Kabar is here, and the number of islands off the coast of Cape Kabar is 3. So it's 3 something 3. So we're looking for a number between 1 and 9 for the cities. The question is, what counts as a city? What counts as a town? I'm going to guess that this is a city.
Would it be the red flags?
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think it is the red flags. Because that's an orange flag, isn't it, this one?
Yeah.
So let's say red flag. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm not sure if that's red or not. No, it's orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say 6. So shall we look up 363 and see if that works?
Yeah.
It's definitely 3 and 3. So 363. No, 363 begins with "you dive into the garden below." So that's not correct. So okay, it might be 4, because there's 4 that are like big. There's this one, this one, this one, and this one. So 343. Let's have a look at that. 343. No, that's us riding the Ithaca thing. So it's not 343. It's definitely 3 islands off the Cape of Kabar. There's definitely 3 oases between Icarish and Bibarbaru. So it's definitely 3 something 3. Well, process of elimination here. So we've tried 343. That was a no. What was the other one we did? 373.
6.
Okay, so 363 was a no. 343 was a no. Number of cities in Vasagonia. Well, maybe it's everything. So if it's all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, but not the small town. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It could be 9. Let's try 393 then. Clearly, we're poring over this map for quite some time.
Yeah.
393 is you run headlong through the foliage. So I'm gonna say 393 is incorrect. So it's not 393. So 383 then. I mean, how can you tell which is which? You trudge through the red loose sand. No, we've done that one already. So it's not that. 373 then. That's it, exclaims Baindon, stabbing his finger at the map of the dry main that covers his chart table. 115 miles due west of Bir Ribaloo, 115 miles due south of the oasis of Bowlofton. He picks up a quill pen and marks the spot. The tomb of Majan. This section is the correct answer to the code. I'm glad we got that straight away, Mel, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes.
You study the map and ponder the miles of desolation separating you from your goal. Baindon notices your look of dismay. Fear not, Lone Wolf. Using the technique of fast travel, we'll be there before dawn. You smile at his confidence. Turn to 320. Okay, all right.
What factor 8?
Indeed. And probably sun factor 8. Oh my God, this is a massive section of text. I'm going to have to abbreviate it a little bit. Dawn is breaking on the horizon of the low hill that is blurred. Swiftly, the Sky Rider has voyaged through the night to arrive at the foothills of the Kanishi Mountains. Where's the Kanishi Mountains? Oh, here. So we're here, Kanishi Mountains.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that the tomb is going to be around here somewhere. 25 miles to the north across a landscape of barren rock lies the tomb of Majan. Okay, so we found it. You set off with Bainham before dawn, anxious to waste neither time nor the protective cover of darkness. There's a massive excavation that has exposed the heart of this scorched land. Thousands of Gyaks, right? So Gyaks are like goblins. Labor increasingly to remove rock and sand from this quarry. So now we're kind of in Indiana Jones territory, basically. Lying at the shade of this construction is a huge flying creature, the Imperial Zlan beast. Okay, so that's like a massive one of those Black Rider things, but it's like a really big one.
Mm-hmm.
Presence here can only mean one thing. Dark Lord Hakan has arrived. The thought of the Dark Lord's presence chills your blood, but you draw some comfort from the labour of his Gyaks. The fact that they continue to labour signifies their mission to find the Ark, I mean the Book of Magnakai, has not yet been successful. You'll have to wait for darkness before you dare to make your approach and enter the tomb. During the long wait, it is agreed that Bainham should try and find Tipser. It is likely he'll be being held captive somewhere. Okay. During the day, you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Well, actually, I gain another one. So I'm back up to max. I do have food. So I just can take off a meal. And actually, I'm down to 2 meals now. I probably could have done hunting, but we're in the desert and we're near the enemy. So I'm going to say no. Okay. As night falls, so your desperate quest begins. The Gyaks pose few problems that cannot overcome with your basic warrior skills. These creatures are overworked to the brink of complete exhaustion. Only the Drakeem show any sign of vigilance, but even so, there is less than a dozen of them patrolling the entire rim of the crater. Not until you reach the main entrance to the tomb do you encounter any real challenge. Okay, here we go. So, you've gone past a lot of things with 3s. Oh, David had to go. Yeah, thanks, David. No worries, mate. I love. He's always on the streams. Lovely guy. Okay, a Drakkar stands by the entrance, his cruel eyes glinting behind his twisted iron death mask. Occasionally, he diverts his attention from his watch to take a drink from a water flask. If you possess the Kai discipline of mind over matter, turn to 214. Well, I do. So let's see what happens. You focus your skill on a nearby spade, willing the handle to rattle against the wheelbarrow against which it rests. It takes only a few seconds for the vigilant Drakkar sentry to leave his post to investigate the noise. By the time he returns, you've entered the tomb of the Majan.
Ooh.
395. Okay, I sense the end is near. Bloody hope so. Probably near your bedtime. Thanks for hanging in, Mel. Much appreciated.
No problem.
I take it you're not on set at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
I'm not. No.
Very good. For as far as your eye can see, a perfectly straight sandstone corridor slopes away into the distance. Torches cackle and splutter on the walls, illuminating pictograms engraved in yellow stone. Very Indiana Jones, this. At regular intervals, rough-edged slabs protrude into the main corridor. You stop to take a close look at one of these slabs and the floor beneath it and come to a frightening conclusion. They are traps set off, no doubt, by the Gyaks when they cleared this corridor of sand. Rather than instructing the Gyaks to avoid them, the Dark Lords must have deliberately used their slaves to trigger them. Okay. Once the trap had been sprung, the squashed bodies were cleared away and the slabs chiseled through to the next section. Pit traps in the floors seem to have been neutralized in the same way. Set off by luckless Gyaks, they've been filled with their dead bodies and leveled off with sand. Just a mile along the corridor, eventually you arrive at a large stone door. The stone bears evidence of recent chisel work, but the door itself is rock solid. You notice a faint beam of light descending from a hole in the ceiling. It creates from a hole in the ceiling. Creates a small circle pool of light a little to one side of a similar hole in the floor. In the wall near the door, there is a triangular indentation. It's about the same size as a gold crown. Listen to this. If you possess the prism, we don't possess the prism because we didn't search that room, remember?
Yeah.
However, if you possess the blue stone triangle, which I do from a previous adventure, turn to 245. So we can use that for something. Let's see what happens. 245. Come on. You remove the blue stone triangle from around your neck and press it into the indentation into the wall. It's a perfect fit. You hear the sound of the stone grating on stone, and slowly the door opens to reveal a chamber. It is dimly lit, but you see thick dust on the marble floor is covered with innumerable footprints, so we're not the first to go in. As you enter, you catch sight of a rough stone throne. It's facing the wall on the far side of the chamber. Suddenly, the stone door slides shut behind you with unnerving speed. Turn to 289. Okay, so we're now trapped in a doom, in a horrible room. The throne begins to revolve. As it turns, a terrible howling fills your ears.
Oh,
I think it's more like the language of the dark tongue, which I shall not utter here, from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because the next thing, it changes and transforms into the growling of harsh guttural language, the likes of which you've never heard before. Fuck, cunt, wanky, bollocks. Words and sounds that the mouths of men could never be shaped to speak roll through the chamber like thunder. It is the dark tongue, spoken by Hakon, the Lord of Aranak, Dark Lord of Helgad. He rises from the throne, the ghastly voice still echoing from his unnatural mouth, a spiked fist open to reveal a glowing stone. Blue flame smolders around its surface. You feel currents of power radiating from its core. Suddenly his words change. You now hear the tongue you know well. He speaks in Summerlanding. Look upon your doom, Kai Whelp. There is a deafening crack and a sudden surge of power, and a fireball of blue leaps from the stone and comes hurtling towards your face. Now, if you possess the Summer Sword, which I decided to leave behind on this quest, turn to 311. If you do not possess this item, turn to 219. Well, I'm going to be honest and go to 219. Okay. You act purely by instinct and dive to the floor. As you roll over, the blue flame screams past your head and explodes into the chamber wall, blasting a hole several feet deep into the stone-hard rock. You spring to your feet and dodge behind a massive pillar as the hideous laugh of the Dark Lord Hakon echoes around the dust-filled chamber. As it rises in pitch, your mind is filled with a sudden and agonizing pain. If you have the skill of Mind Shield, which I do, he's trying Mind Blast on me. So he's going to try and do some damage without getting into combat with me. But I'm going to put up a shield. Okay, oh my God. Here we go. Rapidly, the pain subsides, but a new horror is taking shape before your eyes. Out of the darkness, a green wall of vapor is forming slowly into the shape of a glistening serpent-like monster. I'm going to show you this picture, and we're going to need to get the combat screen up anyway.
Oh, nice.
We're about to have to fight that.
Mm-hmm.
If you possess the Dagger of Vashna and you want to use this cursed item, turn immediately to 302. I don't. I left it behind because it's an evil item. If not, you must fight this nightmarish entity to the death. Right. Well, okay, Mel. It has endurance of 40.
Mm-hmm.
Combat skill of 20. However, listen to this. If you wield a jeweled mace, you may add 3 to your combat skill. duration of this combat instead of 1. So actually, I will not wield the sword. I'll wield the mace, which is +3. So that's going to give me a distinct. That's going to give me better odds with the combat with this thing. But it's got 40 endurance, so I'm going to need you to keep track of the damage on the bad guy.
Yeah.
All right, so my endurance is back up to max, which is good. So it's currently on 24. I have a feeling there's always like a big boss monster towards the end. I have a feeling if we defeat this, we're going to be completing the quest. It's called a Dorgan. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get a couple of high die rolls early on, which will do mass damage. Now, its combat skill is 20. I've got +2 for the shield, which levels us, and then I've got +3 for the mace. And I don't think I've got any other bonus. Is there anything else I can use? Just a quick look. No, I don't think so. Okay. All right. Let's roll the dice then. Here we go. We need high. We want high straight off the bat. That's the noise of the snake. 3. Okay. Right, Mel. Keep a record of the damage. So I'm on the +3 +4 chart. It has taken 6 damage from 40, so it's on 34. Okay, remember 30.
Yep.
I have taken 3, so I'm on 21. Okay, round 2. Got to fight it to the death. That's more like it. It has taken 12 damage, and I've taken nothing.
So 22.
It's on 22. Okay, here we go. Round 3. Booyah! 10. It has taken 16 damage, and I've taken nothing. That's good. That's
so
good.
6.
I think it's going to go this round. 7. It's taken 11, and I've taken 1.
Yep. So it's dead then.
It is dead. Okay, that takes me down to 20. Now, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to drink a potion of Lampspur now. So that takes that down to 2 to immediately put me back up to 24, just in case there's more combat round the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, we killed it. 335. Roast snake for breakfast. As you strike the death blow, the Dorgan shimmers and winks out of existence. The Darklaw Hacken reels backwards as if weakened by the sudden demise of his creation. The glowing stone falls from his hand and rolls across the chamber, coming to rest on the floor midway between you. If you possess the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, turn to 204. I do. It's either going to tell me to pick up the stone or not pick up the stone. You sense the stone radiates a pure and intense evil. If you can only turn this stone's power against the Dark Lord, it will drain his strength, destroy his body, and banish his evil spirit from this dimension to a place where he can no longer harm you. Right. If you try to grab the stone and turn it on your enemy, turn to 268. I don't know. It radiates pure and intense evil. If I try to grab it, am I going to
it could backfire.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore the stone and attack the Dark Lord. 390. So I think that was a good call, drinking the potion quickly while he was. You leap towards the staggering form of Dark Hacken, your weapon poised to strike a killing blow. But as you're, oh my no! I've just died. It says here. I'll read out what it says. You leap towards the staggering form of Darklaw Hacken, your weapon poised to strike a killing blow. But as your arm sweeps down, a spiked fist lashes out to counter your strike. Blood spurts from your wrist. Your fingers go numb, and your weapon clatters from your paralyzed hand. Then the Hacken strikes again, catching you in the chest with a blow that pitches you backwards across the chamber. You struggle to stand, but the battle is over. Hacken has retrieved the glowing stone. The last thing you see before you are consumed by its searing blue flame is the evil grimace of the triumph Dark Lord. Tragically, your life and hope of Summerland ends here. Fuck that! Right, I'm going back to grab the stone. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. How can he suddenly regain his strength and grab the stone when we just knocked it out of his chops? That's a bit. Okay, all right. Well, let's see what happens if you grab the stone. So, okay, that's technically another death I've had. So I've died twice in this thing. I died in book 2, and I've died in book 5. 268. Okay, so we're going to grab the stone of intense evil. Okay, here we go. With a leap of a tiger, you snatch the glowing gem barely a second before Hacken's spiked fist slams into the floor where the jewel had come to rest. You turn to face your enemy, the gem held high in your hand, its blue beam glinting on the Dark Lord's black armor and helm. He shrinks beneath its glare, crashes to his knees. A repulsive sucking noise issues from his helm as he slowly begins to wither and fade. Okay, so basically the information was telling us to grab the stone.
Yeah.
No, it told us the stone was really dangerous. It was a little, a loud and sudden crack makes you start with shock, but you're no longer in peril. The glowing gem has vanished from your hand like its master. It's left this dimension, never to return. And it's now telling me to turn to 400, which is the end of the book, and I think the end of the quest. So, of course, we were just testing earlier. We absolutely, definitely wanted to make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
You examine the floor where the Dark Lord Hacken fell, but there are no signs of his body to be found. The atmosphere is strangely calm and peaceful, as if a great and evil shadow has been lifted from this place. If you lost the summer sword in the confrontation with the Dark Lord, you may now retrieve it. Well, I didn't bring it, so you turn around and walk to the throne where Hacken sat, waiting for you to appear. Beyond it lies a portal, an ancient inscription carved deep into blood-red stone. Below the carving is set the impression of a human hand. Instinct and intuition guide your hand to the door. The carving fits around you like a glove. Silently, the portal slides back to reveal your destiny. And here it is. Let me do this. The Book of the Magna Kai.
Yay.
Set upon a pedestal, literally as well as figuratively, the book lies open, its secrets revealed to your eyes alone. As you lift the sacred book, the very air throbs with the vibration of the force locked within its sun gold cover. With a pounding heart, you take the book and hurry from the chamber. By the time you reach the foothills of Kenishi, Baindon has successfully completed his mission. He and Tipsy are waiting for you. When they first see you appear clutching the Book of the Magna Kai, they can barely contain their excitement. See? This night of triumph, says Baindon jubilantly, will herald a new dawn of hope for Summerland. The Kai shall be reborn. Your quest is now completed. You found the legendary Book of the Magna Kai, freed Magnamund from the evil shadow of Dark Lord Hacken. But for you, Kai Master, Lone Wolf, the story has only just begun. Your destiny lies upon the path of the Grand Masters. To master their secrets and attempts to fulfill the first exciting quest of the Magna Kai, begin your journey with Book 6, The Kingdoms of Terror. We did it.
Yay.
I mean, technically, we definitely wanted to pick up the stone.
We did. Yeah.
If we weren't so tired, we would have had a more intense discussion about that, and probably would have definitely picked up the stone instinctively. We were just testing.
Yeah.
Good. There we go. So mission completed. That is a Lone Wolf book. How did you find that, Mel?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. That was good.
Well, I'm trying to do one of these a week. Sometimes they're on Sunday. If I haven't got an interview scheduled on Tuesday, I'll do them on Tuesday. And then if I have got an interview scheduled, they'll probably be on a Wednesday. Because they're quite a niche stream. I don't think I need to kind of do them the same time every week. But next Tuesday, I should have Debbie Evans on. So do try and pop on for that if you can.
Yeah.
What have you got coming out? Anything to look out for? Is Mel's Big Book of Dog Handling going to the publishers? Where are we at?
So I am back working for Historical Tours, which is walking tours in various parts of London. And we're doing one called Hex and the City, which is, it starts in Farringdon and it goes around Smithfield Market, looking at the history of witchcraft and witch trials in London.
Historical Tours.
Historical Tours. Yeah, Historical Tours is the company. And if you wanted to book one, you book them through Treadwell's Bookshop. But in October, we're also doing some for the Week of the Dead or whatever it's, I think it's called, something like that.
Week of the Dead, Walking Dead, same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you look very different with all your makeup on in the middle here, Mel.
That's not actually me.
Oh, okay.
Behind at the back, yes, that's me.
Oh, yes, there with the white mask on.
Yes, yeah.
Stabbing her in the back.
Yes.
Fantastic stuff. So, what to expect? When to expect it? Are you in any of these pictures? Is that no?
No, I'm not. No.
You've done a few. Very good. Well, so that's happening. Guys, you might want to check that out.
The next one is actually this Saturday.
This Saturday. So there you go. What sort of price are people looking at for that?
I believe the tickets are £20.
£20. That sounds like that's good value. Harlots and Strumpets was something that occurred before. Ooh,
yes.
Who's this person here? This person here looks a bit familiar, Mel.
Yes, that is me.
Never be in doubt that Mel's not a strumpet, because there's the living proof.
Absolutely.
That's in Covent Garden. So
yes, yeah,
fantastic times. And are they doing the strumpet ones again, or is that
the strumpet ones are more summer. So they also do one about jailbirds, so female prisoners. But I'm not involved in that particular tour. I just do the Hex and the City one.
Fantastic stuff. Well, if you're passing through London, or indeed you're already from London, do check that out, guys. And you can catch Mel in action, so to speak. I will be back. So no more streams for me this week until maybe Sunday. There might be something on Sunday. And it's penciled, but I am working around the availability of my guest. But hopefully 9 o'clock UK time, Debbie Evans on Tuesday. I think it's the 15th of August, Tuesday. And do check that out, guys. You want to see that. In the meantime, thanks a lot for joining us on the Lone Wolf Adventures live with Lone Wolf Lancy and my very able assistant, Melissa Stanton, who only managed to get me killed once. So as we know, it doesn't count because it was her choice. So I definitely would have picked up the stone.
Yeah.
Okay. So good. So we'll be on to book 6 in the not too distant future. It just remains for us to say good night. It's getting a bit late here in the UK. So we will be heading off, but I hope to see you all again on the stream next time. By the way, those people that gave money earlier today for my first super chat, thanks so much for that. So generous. Really appreciate that. That's great stuff. And I'll speak to you again soon.